morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You made it. It's Thursday.
Let's go.
One more day and 3 days of the blessed holiday rests in front of you. Turn the alarm clock off for 3 days. Ease into fall. We got football. It's so close we can taste. We had football last night.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that there was. I just stumbled on it. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. You're an R&R in the morning. Karl Schoenig, sitting in the darkness, easing into the day like many of you. Cisco, if you're listening, wake up.
Wake up, sister.
Time to get busy. We are but 48 hours from the weekend, and we'll get you ready for all the college football that's coming up. Man, I'm so excited. I'm pulling out the Aggie side of my closet.
Dude, you've been in my room 3 days in a row.
I found that I could probably go Aggie 2 straight weeks. You know, I've lost a little bit of weight, so there's some shirts that I had to put away for a while.
Yeah.
That turned into a schmedium. And now I can go ahead and put them back on. We're going to hear from Kirk Herbstreit praising the Aggies.
Of course. You know, Herbstreit, I guess he wrote a book or something, so he's been on a world tour. I think he wrote a book.
Yeah, Kirk, you know, is the I'm sure they're putting him out front and center.
Yeah.
But
he praised y'all, kind of, sort of.
It was a backhanded.
Was it a compliment?
I don't know. It was
We'll
a
tease
backhanded kind of compliment. It was almost a bless your heart kind of a moment.
Yeah.
But I'll take it because I do think he's right in a lot of ways. He's comparing the University of Texas football program and the A&M program.
Is Herbstreit for you a Bible or an entertainer?
I think I view him as the conscience of college football. I do think that he has kind of this overarching view. I think he's a little bit too proud of Ohio football, but, you know, I'll give him respect because he's an Ohio guy.
And see, the people in Ohio think he hates on them.
Because he says the name Michigan. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't say that school up north. He'll say the name.
Yeah.
When you're the conscience, you have to take kind of a.
He does have a different approach.
Well, you have to be kind of overly moral to things. And sometimes when you get that way, yeah, you can make some people mad. But I think overarching, he does have the 1,000-yard view of what college football is, was, and what it should be. Whether it is or not, that's another thing.
Whenever Lee comes to an end, how do they replace it? How do they replace Corso? It's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, first of all, people come and go in our business all the time. But like, you know, your Corsos, your Vitals, there's certain people, it's like, what do you do?
And I think in those situations, and Corso is a prime example. Obviously, Corso is diminished after the stroke. He's not what he was. But the mental capacity is there. It's just his ability to communicate the way that we grew accustomed to. I let them make that decision.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you when it's time to go.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm
mean?
just saying, like, but who's that's the size 20.
Yes, and there's no replacing it.
Okay.
There's not another Vital waiting to take over. That's the elder statesman of the sport. Hell, Dick Vitale's been college basketball for 35, 40 years. I mean, right. I'm 55 years old. I can't remember a time when he wasn't doing college basketball. Now, Corso, he's been part of the college landscape forever. I remember when he was a coach, but you know, that seat at that table can't be filled.
Yeah.
Once he decides to leave. And by the way, he's coming back this year. And certainly he has a lot of support with his folks. They kind of carry him and take care of him, and that's fine. But once he leaves, there's nobody coming. It'll be maybe, you know what? I bet it's going to turn out to be in the long run. Tim Tebow is going to be part of college football for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, you can just feel it.
It works.
He's young. He's good looking. He knows the game, and will be part of that. I don't think he'll ever be a Corso-esque type, but I do expect to, from here on out, I'm going to see Tim Tebow and Herbstreit for that matter.
I got a good one for you, Rob. Rank them. Jimmy and Terry and the boys.
Mm-hmm.
College Game Day. The TNT crew.
Oh, TNT.
You got them one?
Yes, no question.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's I think it's the most entertaining part. And
College Game Day is strong.
Oh, College Game Day is great. But
TNT is more, I guess.
It's more entertaining. The traveling road show that is College Game Day, I watch it as much for the hosts as I do for the atmosphere. You know, when you tune in, you want to see the signs, you want to see the campus, you want to hear the guest picker. They do a great job of this circus coming to town that is must watch. But you put 3 guys on a panel and a big TV screen behind them, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I can't miss it. And I'm watching it not just for basketball, just to be entertained. I mean, that's just like watching a talk show or, you know, tuning into Kimmel or Fallon late at night. It is entertainment first and then informative second. And they do a perfect balance. And I don't think that Ernie gets nearly enough credit for what he does.
I don't know how Ernie controls that situation. Sometimes it gets hectic and Ernie just throws this pen in the air.
Yeah. But, you know, a great host has the ability to just kind of let things be. And some of those things would have never happened, but for Ernie going, you know what, I'm going to let go of the reins and see where this thing goes. So College Game Day is preeminent. There's no question as far as the production and all that.
The atmosphere for me, it's the atmosphere. I mean, I think TNT's won, so then you would have Game Day ahead of Fox.
I would. I think Fox is getting old.
You don't like it anymore?
I still appreciate what they do.
I like Terry.
Yeah, Terry's getting a little bit get off my lawn.
Yeah, he is get off my lawn. Of course, I like Strahan, but yeah, that's probably how I would rank it too. 1, 2, 3.
You see Strahan get surprised on Good Morning America. I believe it was Monday.
His jersey retired,
getting his jersey retired.
Long over. I mean, he's like the all-time sack leader, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
What took so long? I thought the Ring of Honor took a long time.
I didn't know that the Giants had a Ring of Honor
as far
or something
as jersey
like that.
I didn't either.
You know, they've been around for hundreds of years, so I guess they have the.
You have to. You can't have some kid running around in Lawrence Taylor's jersey.
Do you still think of Strahan as a football player?
No, I think of Strahan as a mega media stud superstar guy. Then didn't even have to fix his teeth to do it. Do you know how insane it is to make $40 million a year and leave your teeth like that?
You know, that's how you. I mean, he can spit watermelon seeds.
I never. When Strahan first got on television, I never said that guy one day is going to be on Good Morning America. You never know where your life's going to go.
And it shows that, you know, you can, all you got to do is be likable.
Yes.
If you're likable, the technical stuff will follow, because technically he is not a proficient broadcaster. You know what I mean? Technically, he ain't perfect.
You're like, dang, I like his suit.
But he's a good dude.
And I like it. Yeah. You know, you like the delivery. He seems like the biggest thing in our business, Rob, is like, would I have a beer with that guy?
Oh, exactly.
And I could see myself sitting down and having a good 6-pack with Michael Strahan.
And I appreciate
Terry, not so much.
Yes, Terry.
But I think he's funny though.
Oh, yeah.
Terry's funny.
I'm getting they're just getting along in the tooth.
I got you.
Between Terry and Jimmy
switch up.
and Howie at some point, but there is nobody else coming. That's the problem. Yeah. I don't know where you would find the replacement, and I guarantee you Fox has looked.
And it's 4 yellow jackets up there now. Like, how do you, but you know what I mean? There's 4 yellow jackets up there.
But I want you to consider, like, for us, we know those guys because we grew up with them.
Right.
My 25-year-old son turns it on and sees a bunch of gray hairs.
He doesn't give a damn.
And they don't bring the same weight and gravitas that they do to us, because, hell, we saw them play. My son has no idea about Howie Long, about how good this dude was, that he was a wrecking ball on the defensive line. But he knows him as a TV type, and once TV types get stale, there's nothing to hold on to. I don't think they're completely stale yet, and they're trying to do their best. And as bad as they're not bad. They are far better than the CBS attempt.
And I love JB, but the CBS show is a tough watch.
Oh, man. Anything with Phil Simms, the air just gets sucked out of the room.
Oh, Phil does come off as like, he's worse than Get Off My Lawn. What's the next step above Get Off My Lawn?
Well, I would say it, but I would.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We're talking about this, and we've got Karl, who is of that next generation. What do you think of the Fox
Karl,
TV?
Good point.
The Terry, Howie, Jimmy lineup.
They are older, and I don't really remember even Michael Strahan as a player all that well. What did he retire in the mid-2000s?
Yeah.
Most of the time, I am busy doing other stuff, and I tune in for kickoff. Kickoff is at noon.
Right.
And I'll watch the halftime stuff and those kinds of things. But, it's they've made a big bit about winning Terry Bradshaw's money, and I don't remember Terry Bradshaw as anything other than a TV personality who occasionally shows up on TV.
And that's a problem for Fox. That's a problem, because
But
right?
But if their demo is us, why would they change it?
Our demo is us, but we're gonna die soon.
Don't say that.
Well, I'm just
Knock
saying.
on wood.
No,
I know what you mean.
When you're targeting the true money in the world is us. We're the ones with the cash.
Yes.
But when you reach the age where we're no longer are we free spending like we were when we were 30. So you got to not only find the target audience, but you've got to find the target audience that will buy the products that you're advertising. And that's Karl. And if Karl looks at that and goes, I kind of remember Strahan. I vaguely have an idea that Bradshaw played. So I'm curious, Karl, of the three that he mentioned, is there a warm-up show, a game day show that you do actively seek out?
Oh, easily inside the NBA. They have some kind of lightning in a bottle that's going to be sad when Charles Barkley retires in a couple years, because Barkley was at least somebody that you knew was a basketball player, mainly because of maybe Space Jam, my generation.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
it's sad.
Sorry,
No,
I wasn't very
it's not
coherent in
you don't have to
95.
say that. I feel apologize.
When you say that, it's so sad that I feel old.
You don't have to apologize.
Yeah, Kenny Smith is just another talking head. Nobody really remembers him in my age group as a basketball player. It's not that he was even really a star. He just doesn't let you forget that he won championships with the Keem.
Star. He was legit.
I remember Kenny, but I'm 14 years older than you.
He's not a Keem star.
No.
He's not Shaq or Charles
you gotta
star.
remember, he was part and parcel of the NBA for 20 years, or basketball, because he was a star at North Carolina, and we just knew him from the time he was 18.
And that's the other funny thing about those guys inside the NBA. They are the last generation of college stars, because no longer is there that guy that stood out in college. Tim Duncan was the last guy to really be that 4-year player that it's like, yep, that guy represents NCAA as well as the NBA. Now we've just kind of let college go by the wayside.
And what's crazy, Karl, I'd put your basketball mind up against, I put either one of y'all's basketball minds up against Shaq and Charles and y'all to kill them. But
Shaq is a big time entertainer, though.
Yeah, beyond.
Yeah.
Like Barkley, when's the last time Barkley was right about anything?
No, that's right.
You know what I mean?
When they decided that, you know what, we're going to let Barkley do college too. Then they decided it doesn't matter what you know, just be Barkley. Just be yourself, dude.
The real weird issue that TV execs are going to have to deal with is that the fandom for sports is wider and more knowledgeable than it's ever been because of video games, not because of these kids actually watching 2.5 hours of NBA or 4 hours of NFL. They're on their Maddens and they're on their NBA, and then they watch the highlights because the highlights are more easily accessible than they've ever been as well. So there's a bigger audience that likes the sports more. They are more educated, but it's the first time in history where they're not actually watching the games quite like the 90s and before.
And with social, now with social media, you really don't have to watch the game to know what went on, because they're giving you what you needed to see.
Play-by-play tweets.
Yeah, they're giving it to you. Or you could just go to YouTube and they have a 9-minute clip of first, second, third, fourth quarter.
The big plays.
Yeah, and it's like, dang. But no, it's an interesting topic. It came to my mind when we were talking about Herb Street.
Well, as we kick off game day, it is part and
and
parcel
that's
to
why
what we do.
It's time.
It is part and parcel to what we do and how the game is fed to us.
Right.
And we'll talk about how the game is fed to us as news was made by the New Orleans Saints. They are going to be playing their first home game in Jacksonville. We're going to tell you why.
Wow.
Very interesting, and I appreciate the gamesmanship behind the decision. And we'll also get into why San Antonio was not on that list, and it was nothing we did. It's just stuff we don't have.
Don't get San Antonio guys started. What? Everybody hates us. It's Jerry's fault. It's going to be that guy's out there today.
Ray Dizzle's eager.
What up, Ray?
Ray Dizzle needs the update. We're getting there. Cowboys got their backup quarterback. We were right. Their backup was not on the roster until yesterday afternoon. Slinging it deep. Will Greer is your brand new.
You were right.
Well, I think most people looked at Cooper Rush and went, that's not going to stick.
Yeah.
That's not going to hang around. And of course, we can't get through a day without talking about COVID and its effect on our modern sports world. And as teams are being whittled down and seasons are beginning, there are restrictions that are coming into play that are going to significantly affect the NBA. First of all, we hear from, it started yesterday with Urban Meyer Tuesday, with Urban Meyer and his COVID being a part of the decision making.
And Jacksonville's like, hey, man,
settle down.
That's not what we meant.
No one
That's not what he
cut.
meant. Don't, or if we get sued, Urban, it ain't coming out of your money.
No one gets cut because of that. It was part of the decision-making process.
Urban, you're not in Ohio.
No one
Zip it.
was let go at any stretch.
Yeah, zip it, Urban.
That's why Bill Belichick was smart. He's like, no, that had nothing to do with it. Nope.
Nope, nothing at all. Nada. The fact that he missed practice for a week actually helped us out.
Yeah, made the decision a lot easier.
Let's get everybody caught up.
Let's
It is
go.
time for Karl's update. Let's do this.
Here's the 411 in the 210.
Headline one, you know I like to stay in the soccer world.
Yes, sir.
Christian Pulisic signs a historic memorabilia deal ahead of World Cup qualifiers. Through 2026, he will be signing autographs on cards exclusively with Panini.
Because he's the greatest U.S. soccer player of all time already.
What's panini? Other than a sandwich,
I thought it was a
delicious
bread. Yeah, I
sandwich.
thought it was a sandwich.
It's a brand like Topps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's the card company.
Yeah, it's a card company.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Soccer's on the rise. By 2026, who knows where we're at
But
with soccer?
Here's
So,
the problem.
uh-oh,
If he is the greatest American soccer player,
of all time,
what do you
right
think
now.
if I pulled 10 sports fans, not just basketball or soccer, but people that profess to say, I watch ESPN 4 times a week.
Okay,
How many of them know who Christian Pulisic is?
3.
3 out of 10? I guess that's
You
enough.
give him a World Cup. He didn't participate in the last World Cup because we didn't qualify and so on and so forth.
Right now, today, what would your guess be out of 10? Out of those 10 people you just polled, just random people.
I just read the article and I can't remember that he plays on Chelsea. Is that right, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I have to second guess myself.
No,
so
I
give
think-
him a minute. But
There's nothing wrong with that.
sooner or later, the English Premier League and European soccer will be the 4th most popular sport in America.
I think I completely agree. They're gonna take
That's a hot
baseball.
take.
They're taking baseball. They're taking hockey first, and they're gonna end up third of baseball.
Soccer is on the rise here in this country,
No,
so I can
It's-
dig it. I can dig it, Panini.
Hey, we're in, but now is this the only sport that I can name more great women players than men?
Yes.
At least American players.
As far as like major sports, yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
I can name half of that women's team over the decades, and I can name previous stars going back 20 years.
And that's
I
what
could probably name 4.
I don't know. It'd be a
Men's-
stretch to get me to 4, and I like soccer. It'd be a stretch to get me to 4 men's.
American players.
Like not as far as our national team.
Yeah.
Well, hell, even MLS.
It
And
just-
MLS has grown big too. MLS stadiums are packed, so it'd be a stretch to get me to 4.
you gotta have to win.
My feed is cluttered with Austin FC stuff, and I can't name a player on that roster.
People are loving that Austin.
You know,
It's an event. It's a movie. It looks like a movie up there right now. I can't
It
lie.
is really cool. It's sold out all the time.
Yeah,
the
it's-
domain gets you nice and happy before the game.
They
they
I
have
mean,
to,
I
though.
love San Antonio. I love y'all. But the MLS got it right.
Yeah, they have to.
They got it right.
because
I'm not saying that ours wouldn't be. Don't get mad at me, San Antonio FC guy, Crocketeers. I love y'all. But when you look at the atmosphere up there, they got it right.
it's AAA to the show.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, my son went out to an FC
Oh, he
game
did?
last night.
Awesome.
Sounded like he had a good time.
Austin has been dying for a professional sports league, and the Longhorns would not really let anything in. Sure, you have the hockey team. Sure, you have the Austin Spurs, but they've pushed both of those groups up to Cedar Park. So they're very happy to finally have a professional major league team of some kind that the Longhorns don't sort of kind of ruin.
Overshadow. Yeah.
Because it would be great if the Austin Spurs could play at the Irwin Center, but they would just charge them way too much. And the soon-to-be Moody Center, that's going to be cool.
You know, I've never understood that.
What's
why
that?
Texas hasn't opened their doors to the Austin Spurs, at least for as many games as they can carry. I would want to have that entire student body have access to that team. You're building fandom for a life.
We're UT. We would never.
I
We
know.
would never get in the bed and schmooze with the G League.
I'd be giving $5 tickets away, $10 tickets away to every UT fan, UT
'Cause you're
kid,
smart.
because I'm building a fandom.
Right.
I'm building long-term relationships from people that
Keep
are.
Austin weird is a real thing.
Deion Sanders owned the Arena Football League team, the Austin Wranglers.
Mhm.
And as far as I know, when they played at the Irwin Center, they got the parking, they got the concessions. University of Texas, I'm saying. They
Wow.
charged them to play there. So that's the reason the Austin Wranglers are no longer around.
And, while the Wranglers needed to make money, I don't think the Austin Spurs exist to be profitable. They're under the umbrella of the Spurs, the billion-dollar entity that is that. So profitability, I think, should be secondary. But I've always thought that was odd that they were forced to play up in some smaller gym north of Austin when they had that pretty place right downtown where they could build fandom and get everybody going. Moving along.
Headline 1, Miami Dolphins Tua Tagovailoa says that Coach Brian Flores' support means a lot. And Flores says, I will say Tua is our quarterback. I think he's had a good training camp. I think he's made a lot of progress. I think he's made improvement. We're pleased with where he is. He is going to about his preparation for New England the way he should be. Flores adds, I think it's important for players on the team to feel like they have the support of their teammates, their coaches, and everyone in the organization. I think that's very important.
I heard Charlie Brown's teacher, not you. To me, that's Charlie Brown teacher speaking because as soon as Deshaun Watson is available, they will throw the kitchen sink at it. But you have to say these things make sure. Yes, because you got to have his mental right, Rob. Of course you have to say that.
I think it's worse to say anything at all in this situation because he's already come out when asked directly, are you chasing Deshaun Watson? And you don't say no. You just say, well, we want good guys on our team. Positive guys.
And that's why he had to say what he said yesterday.
But at the same time, you can come out and say, Tua's good. He's great. This is a guy we love. He's our quarterback. But you say that once, and then you don't say it again.
Yeah, he spoke for about a minute too long.
Because as long as you keep saying that, it's that dreaded vote of confidence that you always hear about the coach that gets fired the next week when the owner comes out and says, he has my full and unfiltered confidence.
Right. I'm not a schedule junkie. I didn't even realize that Tua versus Mac Jones week 1.
Alabama.
I can dig it. They got 3 starting Alabama. Keep sports people. I'm talking to my diehard sports fans. Alabama has 3 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, which was the joke about Alabama for years, for decades. Like Alabama, they win titles, but they can't produce quarterbacks. So for them to have 3 starting QBs.
And A.J. McCarron was the backup in Atlanta until he tore his ACL.
Yeah. Nick Saban's Illuminati, man. They wide receiver you, now they're trying to be QB you.
Doesn't it speak to Saban in the way that he has evolved? You have to evolve with the game.
He's a chameleon.
Because
he's a chameleon.
He didn't want a stud quarterback.
No, he wanted somebody to hand the ball off 3 clouds of dust.
He wanted a quarterback. You have one route.
Right.
You look there, and if he ain't open, run.
Yeah. He's a chameleon. And
now for him to be able to do that and not only have a slinging quarterback that will take the limelight away from the team, and it's all about the team, but to allow them to go do it and then to go even further and foster an environment where your sophomore quarterback is making $1 million on an NIL because he's allowed to throw the ball.
Right.
I think that speaks volumes to Saban. And I know he spoke yesterday on ESPN or the day before, said he's going to coach for at least 4 or 5 more years because I think the game is always new to him.
Yeah.
He just is that chameleon type that, like what you call him, Illuminati.
Yeah, he's Illuminati. It's something. Something ain't right.
There's something glorious in watching the best to ever do it.
Absolutely.
Moving along.
And headline 0, Philadelphia 76ers Joel Embiid denies a rift exists with Ben Simmons. Interesting, I'm trying to trace it, and I can't find where he said this. A writer for USA Today, Jeff Zilgett, was quoted by NBA Central, which is a fan-run NBA news site. The Simmons-Embiid rift has been escalating. A person with knowledge of the situation has told USA Today Sports. I can't find that on his Twitter, but they have 512,000 followers. So Joel Embiid gets a hold of this, and he tweets out, "Stop using my name to push people's agenda. I love and hate drama. I love playing with Ben. Stats don't lie. He's an amazing player, and we all didn't get the job done. It's on me personally. I hope everybody is back because we know we're good enough to win."
You buy it?
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a Sixers fan. You've been around this long enough.
The Doc Rivers comments, that's a shame of a soundbite that went viral. And I think that he would take that back if he could. Ben Simmons had a soundbite that was a big, broader spectrum of a soundbite. You took the 8-second of a 30-second clip, and it looked like he was blaming Ben Simmons. I don't think there's anything there. This is the Twitter narrative, because overall, if Ben Simmons comes back and the 76ers say, hey, you're our guy, we want you to be more of a scorer, all these things, build up his scoring instincts, he has a 4-year, $147 million contract left. The Sixers, sorry, I see that face, Rudy J.
Man,
The 76ers are going to keep him around as far as I can tell, because they're not going to get anywhere near equal value to the franchise cornerstone he is. And this is Joel Embiid publicly coming out and saying, stop all this drama.
What you think, Rob?
I think that Joel Embiid doesn't want to play with Ben Simmons anymore, but he likes him. You know, like, we're boys. I like Ben. He's a funny guy. I like going out with him when we're on the road. I like playing him and beating him in FIFA. You know, when we're traveling and we're playing our bids. But I don't think he wants to play with him.
Yeah,
I think Embiid saw the same thing we did, and every time he was in the paint, Ben Simmons was right next to him. Like, dude, go out there and shoot, man. You're in my way.
Right. And you know what? Chris Paul and James Harden said there was nothing.
But there was.
Kobe and Shaq said there was nothing. These riffs, like, I remember Dwight Howard storming into a Stan Van Gundy interview because Stan was like, yeah, Dwight don't really like me. And Dwight storms in. Like, nobody ever wants to look like the guy that ran someone out.
Right.
But a part of me does believe Joel, but just revisionist history leads me to believe that there's something that Joel has told somebody in the organization. I don't know if it really works, but I don't know if that means a rift. Like Rob was saying, I don't mean it's a rift. That don't mean I don't like the guy. It just means like,
I can't play with him.
We might have told an assistant coach or a trainer, like, you know what? We don't work together, man. We're not going to win a title like this.
So this NBA Central is the same one that picked up and ran with and made ESPN San Antonio back in the day famous for misquoting Bruce Bowen about DeJounte Murray. Do you remember that? When Bruce Bowen said something like...
Y'all called Bruce, and he said, no, man.
When y'all didn't actually say something, y'all brought Bruce on to denounce this. This is NBA Central who misquoted somebody, and Joel Embiid is saying, what are you guys talking about? And I don't think the players quite understand that this is not an official media outlet.
I didn't know that.
The NBA Central is not.
Players... there's official, but when you're talking social, it all feels the same.
It all feels the same, right? We all got sources.
Whether it's fan.
Yeah, but this is somebody dragging something that they see on Twitter. So it goes from some semi-reporter that they follow to, oh, hey, this is legitimate news when it might not have actually been uttered. So this is Joel Embiid seeing that and saying, stop making up stuff.
Yeah.
But we also have seen you, Joel. We know that we can see the temperance. I think, like we said, I have no doubt that these guys are boys. They're friends.
Absolutely.
They see each other, shake hands, hug. But at the same time, we can't play together, man.
Right.
I'm not what you need, and you're not what I need. There's nothing wrong with us parting ways. So I think that's Embiid being the leader of the Sixers, and just in case Ben doesn't get moved, which there is that possibility that the ask is too high, that if he does come back, we got to make sure that everybody's copacetic. We got to all be kind of on the same page. And I think that's Embiid really taking a step into the leadership role of this team. I think he's been the face of the Sixers, but I'm not sure he's been the emotional stable part of that team.
Yeah, I don't know who you would expect. Who that is, right?
Well, I think it was for the most part until Ben took all the guff, all the stuff that he deserved. I think it was Ben. I mean, he's the guy with the ball. He's the guy that initiates the offense. He's the one that isn't quite as controversial as Joel, but without him, I think Embiid is going to take that step from not only the face, but the true leader of that team. I think that was a good move, but yeah. I don't think they like playing each other. And I believe Windhorst and Simmons, he ain't coming back, and he's willing to pay the fine.
Well, this is also the thing with Ben Simmons. He might be tired of the general situation because he was in the James Harden rumors. And yeah, James Harden for Ben Simmons, and Matisse Thybulle was the other person that was going to be included. That's a good move. Everybody in the NBA seems to say, yeah, we'll give you our scraps for Ben Simmons, but whatever makes the salary work now. Right. The 76ers cannot, under any circumstances, do that. They make Ben Simmons report if they need to build up his value again, but they can't say, hey, Minnesota, you want Ben Simmons, we want one of your good players and they say you can't have Cat, you can't have D'Angelo Russell, you can't have Anthony Edwards, then who are the Sixers getting back for their 4-time All-Star? And that's why that's what's going on is going on. I think at the end of the day, Ben Simmons does get forced to come back and at least build up his trade value some way or another.
Well, Rich Paul's got a history, man. James Harden didn't have any leverage, didn't have anything to get himself out of Houston other than I'm gonna put on a fat suit and make everything difficult on you. You don't have to not be there to cause problems. He can hold out and he could call a press conference every day and talk about his situation and just make it almost untenable.
Right.
For a brand new
just can't work
for the situation that he's in. So if Ben Simmons wants out, he'll get out. He will.
He'll eventually get out. But no NBA team is going to give up an asset like that for next to nothing. And that's the thing. And that's why I think the Spurs, in a way, have the best opportunity to get him, because it seems like draft capital is going to get Ben Simmons at the end of the day over players, because nobody wants to give up their players for Ben Simmons, but they're willing to give draft capital, and the Spurs have been stockpiling. So maybe at the end of the day, that's what ends up happening.
The Harden deal, did you think it sounded fair when it happened? I mean, did it feel
as fair as it was going to get? Because as you mentioned, Harden also dropped his value a good bit with everything going on. Basically, he didn't stop playing, but we're pretty sure he wore a fat suit.
All of that. So I think that Simmons will be around until the pain gets too much for Doc Rivers and the Sixers. And Rich Paul has a history of kind of stirring the pot, making things awkward, making your guy look like he ain't playing for you. And if he does, you don't want him on the court anyway.
And I said this on halftime yesterday with Pledge. The interesting thing is the 76ers want to build up that trade value, but also they might wait until people who signed contracts this summer are available for trade sometime in December. So this thing could be dragged out a long time.
Trade deadline at least.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, I don't think the Spurs would include a Doug McBuckets in the trade. But if Philly says the only way this trade gets done is if we include McDermott, then that can't happen until December, if I'm not mistaken. Or anybody else that signed a contract. I'm just throwing out the first name that came to my head that people would understand.
Rich Paul and the continuing saga of Ben Simmons, the day in and why, and we have to talk about it. When we come back, the Dallas Cowboys, well, they might have found their backup quarterback. We'll look at the team as they prepare for the world champions coming up a week. Well, we're just a week away. A week from today, the NFL will begin. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys coming up next. We're glad you're with us. This is R&R in the Morning, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Oh, BetUS is my what time is it? It is early in the morning. BetUS is my book. Let me tell you why. I've been working with BetUS for a long time. 25 years in the business, BetUS is. Longevity is key. My favorite sportsbook, my only sportsbook, is BetUS. Been America's sportsbook for over 25 years. You need a sportsbook with integrity. Of course you do. But really, the longevity proves that integrity. And more importantly, you need to know you're going to get paid, and that's the key, isn't it? You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all those great prop bets that really spark conversation. You want to get yourself signed up today? It is so easy. Just pick up your phone, 1-800-79-BET-US. That's what I did. It took about 5 minutes at most. 1-800-79-BET-US, and tell them you're calling with KZDC. That is us when you join KZDC, and you'll get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody in the industry beats that. Nobody. If you're with another book, that's fine. Come check out BetUS. Call 1-800-79-BET-US. If you're brand new to the game, all the things you need, all the guidance you need at 1-800-BET-US. BetUS.com today, BetUS.com tomorrow. They're America's favorite sports book. They are my sports book. That's BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
Yesterday was a tough afternoon for the Texas Major League Baseball teams, with both the Rangers and the Astros losing their series finales. The Houston Astros were edged out by the Seattle Mariners 1-0. Jake Odorizzi picked up the loss on the mound despite only allowing one run on 2 hits with 7 strikeouts and 5 innings pitched. The Rangers couldn't complete the sweep of the Colorado Rockies yesterday afternoon. Despite having a lead the majority of the game by opening the scoring with a 5-run second inning, Colorado chipped away at the lead with 2 runs in the 4th and the 5th and took the lead with 5 runs in the 9th to escape Arlington with a win 9-4. Both Texas teams are off Thursday and pick up new series Friday with Houston visiting San Diego and the Rangers visiting the Angels. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
If you were hurt in a crash, it's important to act fast. Instead of haggling with insurance, just call Thomas J. Henry. Remember, the call is free and you don't pay us any fees unless we win your case. Contact Thomas J. Henry today. San Antonio, Texas.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
Joel, isn't it great being a local San Antonio company?
Sure is, my little buddy. Texas is the greatest place on earth. We're different and proud of it.
That's right, my brilliant boss man. We're different. We drive trucks, not scooters. We drink Lone Star, not Appletinis.
You're getting a little worked up there, aren't you?
We eat cow, not kale.
All right.
Tacos, not tofu.
You're really sticking with that food thing, aren't you, dumpy dingwall?
We're about freedom, not out-of-townism.
What?
Exactly.
Folks, you don't want someone to come to your house from a foreign country like California, do you? All of us at Quarterman Plumbing, AC, and Heating are proud to be your kind of people. We are local, love God, show kindness to everyone, and do business the old-fashioned way. If it's a little or big plumbing or AC issue in your home, we'll fix it and at a fair price. It's the Quarterman way. Call 210-651-5899.
Yes, Joel. Us Texans are different indeed. Now, would you like a brisket crumpet? I have a spare one.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M13229 DACLA 000743458.
El Wedo's Automotive Paint provides quality coatings and selection of paint supplies for your automotive finishing needs. El Wedo can match any color for that specific work you're doing. And if you own a car painting or body shop business, you have to compare prices with El Wedo's paint supply to start saving today. Come check us out at El Wedo's Automotive Paint for quality coatings and a great selection of auto painting needs. Located at 3108 West Avenue. Call us at 210-749-3116. 210-749-3116. Check us out on Facebook or Google at El Wedo's Automotive Paint.
Staples Connect has everything for back to school at amazing prices. Right now, Crayola 12-count colored pencils and 10+2 Crayola marker bonus packs and Bic Round Stick Ballpoint Pen 10 packs are just 97 cents each. So you won't just be ready for school, you'll be Prepared Parent of the Year ready.
I just want to thank my family and Staples for making this possible.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com/back-to-school today and get more than ready for school. Ends 9/18, limit 30 on Crayola. Big pens in store only.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. Slackers is your home to 7 days a week happy hour, and they now start at noon every day. And by popular request, Slackers brings back their signature frozen drinks. Visit slackersbarsa.com for more info.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You hear that? It's not just another sound effect. It's the sound of your life changing. Say goodbye to mediocrity and every normal phone you've had before. Unfold a whole new world with Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G and Z Fold 3 5G. Get more screens, more style, more attention. Take a break from toggling between select apps and take hands-free selfies. Take notice of everyone noticing you and show them how to live this life. Buy your Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G or Z Fold 3 5G at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier.
It's like breakfast tacos with the hot stuff. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. Rudy J, Rob Thompson, Karl Schoening, thanks for joining us. We're so glad you're with us on a Thursday.
Is there?
What did the Rangers, did they sweep the Rockies yesterday?
No, they had the lead until the 9th inning when they gave up 5 runs.
What time was that game finally over? What time did Minix have to go to work? About 5:15?
Oh, I was napping.
Yeah, it was long. If I schedule a day game, it's extra innings. Minix just has to sit around and wait.
Oh, okay. Is that how
it happened yesterday again too?
It was a 9-4 or 9-5, 9-4 ball game. So yeah, that was quite a 13, 14 inning game. So there you go.
They're off today. They'll pick it up again on Friday. We'll have your Texas Rangers back with us on Sunday, but we are on the cusp of college football, and we got all kinds of games for you this weekend. We're focusing on the Dallas Cowboys right now. They did a little bit of waiver wire shopping yesterday. The common thought was, yeah, Cooper Rush made the team, but the backup quarterback, the guy that'll hit the field when the times are tough, probably isn't on the roster. They claimed former Carolina Panther and West Virginia Mountaineer and Florida Gator Will Greer. He's a slinger. He'll sling it deep.
I think he played like a good game with Carolina, and then the very next game, he threw like 5 interceptions, and it just went.
He's a slinger. He'll throw it deep. He played for West Virginia, and that Dana Holgorsen aired out a year and came out of Florida. Hey, we figured as much. So they're in. They go grab another running back, Corey Clement, formerly of the New York Giants.
I remember him.
Yeah, he's respect.
What up? Yeah,
he's respect. The practice squad seems to have come into play, and a lot of those guys that we thought possibly could make the 53-man roster did clear waivers and come back to land on the practice squad primarily. The Nooch, Ben DiNucci, will be back. And we kind of saw that coming.
See, yeah. We called it.
I was glad.
Radio guy loves that. We called it. I told y'all.
Go check the tape. We know what we're doing.
Nucci, we love Rob and I love Nooch. We told y'all.
I think it's worthy of a look. I think, and Garrett Gilbert, by the way, landed. He's still on a practice squad. I think he landed with the Patriots.
I know I had someone tweeted me like, "Oh, but they don't keep Cam." That's two different things.
Oh,
they're not. That's not the Patriots saying Garrett Gilbert is a better option than Cam. That's saying this guy's going to enjoy being a clipboard. You know what I mean? Cam's on record saying there aren't 32 guys better than him. That's not the guy you can have sitting behind your rookie. So that's not what that meant. They don't think the Patriots don't think Gilbert's better than Newton. Okay.
He's just cheaper.
Yeah. Relax, fellas.
The Cowboys hold on to Darian Thompson. That was an early cut I was surprised to see.
That was you when that one came down. You were like, "What?"
I think but he made it through waivers, so the Cowboys the only one that see him as pretty. So I'm glad he got to stay. Jaquan Hardy.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Absolutely,
Rob.
man. We all got a type. We all have a type.
Absolutely.
That fullback Nick Ralston will hang around. The kid that's been highlighted on Hard Knocks, Alarcon, the Mexican national part of the NFL international program.
Right.
He made it through and is on the practice squad. He will play at some point for the Cowboys in a regular season game. Just this.
That's a hot take for today.
The offensive line. I don't expect Tyron Smith to magically be able to play 17 games this year. He hadn't been able to play a full season in 3 years, and we're going to add another game. So the likes of Alarcon moving up and being a part of this.
I saw on your guy blogging with the boys, RJ Ochoa, they were doing their like hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
One of the hot takes from the blog with the boys was that Tyron Smith would play 17 games. Now I don't know if that's realistic. Now that's a super hot take.
That is a hot take, and I'm not even sure that's a hot take. It's more wishful thinking.
Yeah,
because the dude, he's a year older and he's still been able to do it. They also hang on to Braylon Jones, so they've got 2 offensive linemen on the
can't have enough of those guys.
You feel like that might not be enough. Osiris Mitchell, a wide receiver, stays on, and as well as a Brandon Smith. So they held on to 2 wide receivers on the practice squad and a fullback in Nick Ralston, who's a Dallas area kid. I think he came out of Liberty.
Oh, cool.
So
good for him.
I saw a highlight of him working out, pulling a semi-trailer, one of those kind of workouts.
That's insane.
And one more tight end, Jeremy Sprinkle, who was really the odds-on for many who thought would make the team, did clear waivers, and they have their practice squad.
Waivers is fast. Because the cut day was Tuesday. We're only at Thursday, so what? Waivers is just a day? goodness gracious.
You got to dig in and get it done.
They know what they're doing. They have conversations like we have conversations, except that's their full-time job. It's like, if this guy gets cut, we're going after him kind of thing.
Yeah. But you have to, once you cut him, you got to make sure nobody else wants him either. So you got to wait, and make sure.
Like, oh, the guy sucks. Don't even look at him. And then you sign him back.
That has to be the general idea. Now we start focusing on Tampa Bay. And I think as we watched Dak Prescott go through training camp and not really play a big role in throwing the ball because of his shoulder. Well, now that rust of a year and a half off basically needs to start right now, or that rust is going to have to be knocked off on Thursday. I was talking to a couple of guys last night. A San Francisco show called me as they were going through the NFC East.
Oh, really?
Let me give you some perspective of what the rest of the country sees. The 49er types, or at least the California types, see the Dallas Cowboys as greatly improved, that there is some health there. But the book is out on defense. The concern is out on the defense that, how much better can they possibly be, even with changing a coach. And the other one is that Zeke is either destined to have another down year or have a great year. There won't be an average year. That, this offense is structured.
There's no in between.
As far as Zeke,
yeah,
I fall on the side that Zeke's going to have a bigger year than a lot of people think, because Dak's going to spend those first 4 weeks kind of shaking off rust. I don't think it's going to be as difficult as it could be, but I think at least in week 1 and week 2, Zeke's going to get the ball a lot in a lot of different ways. And it seems like this offensive line thinner. We talked about that when we were at camp. I think they're a much more mobile line to kind of get the ball moving from side to side before it goes, north-south, guys in space. I think Zeke's going to play a huge role early on. And I do think that affects the fantasy draft. I think his usage rate will be up as long as he can hold on to the ball. And I think he figured that out in the second half of the season. But the rust is a concern for Dak. I mean,
oh gosh, yes. That's what I'm saying. That's why you can't bring Cam in.
And stepping in. So you have a rusty quarterback and you've got an offensive line that you hope stays healthy, that he hasn't been behind, and going against 11 starters returning on the defensive side of the World Championship game.
Yeah, Dak's look, if he comes out and there's no rust, that's just gravy. To me, again, I said this a couple weeks ago, patience through the rust. There may be a couple 3-and-outs to start, but that's to be expected. He hasn't played in almost a year.
Have you penciled in a loss for the Cowboys on week 1?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we all have.
Yes, but that just means they're going to win.
Well, I think that if they do lose, but
I have them losing week 1, but this crazy how this world works.
But as long as you don't embarrass yourself and you see improved defense, I think you can go into week 2 without too much panic. But the biggest fear is Dak shows up, looks rusty, throws a couple of interceptions. They can't run the ball because they can't throw it, and suddenly everybody's questioning everything.
Or because as a great a leader as Tom Brady is, not everybody's cut from the cloth that he is. Tom's motivated. Tom wants to go back to back. Some guys maybe got fat. Some guys may be feeling themselves. Now, again, Tom is a great leader, and he kind of rubs off on everybody, but it's week 1. And some guys may be feeling themselves a little bit, and the Cowboys shock them. But, just on paper, just gun to my head, no, I would take Tampa to win that game. But, again, there's not 22 Tom Brady's on that team.
The New Orleans/Jacksonville Saints will kick off their first game on the road in Florida. We'll tell you why they chose Jacksonville. This is the best reason we've ever heard. And in that, we'll also tell you why San Antonio was not even on the list. Hold on. R&R in the morning. And this is San Antonio Sports Star. Hang with us here on ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
And now, a man's thoughts on San Antonio Sports Star. What were you thinking?
That escalated quickly.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Central Builders Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
R&R in the Morning, sitting with Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com is his website. Jason Thompson, I'm curious. I was in a car accident, but I wasn't the driver. I was just a passenger. Do I need a lawyer too?
I think anytime you are injured in an automobile collision, whether you were the driver, a passenger, the guy in the back seat, know this, that when insurance is involved, every insurance company I have ever heard of has a staff of lawyers on staff right now. As soon as that collision happens, whoever caused it is represented by an attorney. And if you think you're going to alone beat an insurance company's team of lawyers, you're sadly mistaken. The first thing you do is call me.
Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com, 210-900-0400. 210-900-0400, a lawyerforus.com.
Do you know where you can find all your favorite Skechers shoes plus amazing styles you probably never even knew existed? Skechers.com. Because at Skechers.com, we have miles and miles of styles of the most comfortable shoes on the planet. We have boys and girls shoes that sparkle and light up. We have retro chic looks like Skechers Delight, so you can rock your best street style. Skechers.com has work shoes, slip-ons, sports shoes, casual shoes, canvas shoes, even Bobs by Skechers that help save the lives of pets. We have performance shoes like Go Walk, Go Run, Go Golf, and You by Skechers. No matter how you like to be active, Skechers.com has you covered. The styles are endless. And on Skechers.com, you can find all the fits you need. Relaxed fit, wide fit, stretch fit, seamless fit, flex fit, and many more. We're the fit specialists. Plus, you can find so many shoes with Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam. Skechers is world famous for comfort, and once you try some on, you'll understand why. So find all the styles, all the fits, and all the comfort for your whole family. Only at Skechers.com.
Bet you can tell me when the last Spurs championship was. But can you name your congressman? Sports or politics? The answer is obvious. This is San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
J. Will and Zubin on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. Get your ass out of bed. You got to get to work. Oh, sorry. I was talking to my sons there for a second.
You need that sometimes.
Wake up. How do you set your alarm? Do you have a loud alarm? Do you put it close to you? Do you wake up before your alarm?
Really close, and I set 2.
Do you use your phone, or is it an alarm clock?
Phone. I set 2, and I use my phone.
I am so terrified because this job right now, if you oversleep, you in trouble. You're not just going to wake up on your own at 4:35 instead of 4. You're going to wake up at 7:30. So I am terrified about oversleeping.
Me too.
So I literally use my phone, and I have my clock alarm too. But I put my phone underneath my pillow, so if it's there, it's going to vibrate and wake me up.
Your wife is cool. If I put my phone under my pillow, my wife would assume I'm hiding something, and I'd wake up with a knife to my throat.
See, I'd be so half asleep that I'd just turn off my phone and be right back on the pillow.
Well, see,
so you put it across the room, right? But see, if I put it across the room, I sleep like a log.
I literally roll out of bed, turn it off, pick it up, and exit the bedroom. That is how I make sure I do not go back to sleep.
Yeah, I don't do you could play games. You could play that little. Let me get an extra
I can
2
rearrange
minutes.
my entire day half awake. Like if I snooze for 6 more minutes, that means I'll get there 6 minutes later. And if I can rearrange.
I don't play like that with this show. because my friends got bets and I'm gonna miss a show one day, so I really don't want to. Like, I got to stick it to them. But if you play around with this job and try to do that, let me get 3 extra minutes, you're screwed. You're screwed.
It's my ultimate nightmare is to sleep through.
What? You just roll to your kitchen and turn on your dang tie line.
Well, I don't have it hooked up. It's all here now.
Okay.
It's probably better that I don't have it. You know what I mean? Because it would be so easy to text you 6 a.m. Yeah, well, I'm at home, man. Today we'll be in the robe. Today, when you see me, I'll be in my robe because I ain't coming in. So it's better.
The phone under the pillow, dude. Would that fly with yours?
I just wouldn't try it, so I don't know. But I imagine it would be all right.
I can tell you, at 30, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm saying.
this.
Okay, yeah.
As an older man,
this show,
I couldn't get up the way that I am.
I think you could.
I sold produce when I was young. I had to get up and deal with banana companies in Colombia and all this kind of stuff. So I'd wake up and it was awful. I spent more mornings in the clothes I had on the night before than I had regular. I mean, I
love it. That means you had a good 30s.
Oh man, it was that
means you had a good time.
Sadly, it was before.
You know what though, Rob? I thought about yesterday. And my insecurities kicked in. You brought up Minix, and I've been listening. I listened to y'all the halftime. I listened to Minix, and then you brought him up earlier. I got a little insecure because I started hearing all the different places Minix going to be out at, and I'm like, does Rob miss 4 to 7? With this getting up this early and then 4 to 7, it's football season. Y'all were out pre-COVID. Y'all were out damn near every day.
Mm-hmm.
Some fun spots.
Yeah.
Do you miss your ex, Rob? Do you miss your double X in this case? Because this has been. Do you miss your ex? Keep it real with me.
Well, here's the good news.
We need to have a real.
I can go to every one of those and drink and have a good time and not be at work. So no, I don't miss it a bit.
No, I was like, man, I think Rob is probably regretting doing this.
Well, there's a little bit of money that isn't. In the income, but
you're 4 to 7. You get up when you want, and you go have a good time. You get paid to go have a good time.
There is.
I'm like, I think Rob. I was hurt, Karl. I was like, I think Rob may regret doing this with us now that it's football season.
Pledger and I have been dropping small hints to try and get him off halftime at noon too.
I'm like, does Rob love me? Sometimes your wife just hit you with that out the blue.
What did I do to make you think I don't?
You know what I'm.
I don't know why. I don't know why you bring up that question.
That's a great rebuttal.
Like, if I did something to make you think that I love you less, let me know. I might do it again.
I was like, damn. I was like, man, Minix is out a lot. I forgot, Rob. You and Jason were out all the time.
Yeah, I miss seeing all that for sure. But there is something routine about this that I don't. And dude, we're out a lot.
No, we are. No, we have
continue to be. Karl and I are going to be out at Twin Peaks next week. Out of I-10 and Days of Allah on the 9th. So we're still going to be traveling. Yeah. So there's still lots of activity. If you would like to have us at your establishment, Rudy and I would be happy to come out and hang with you. We're a lot of fun.
We are a lot of fun.
We bring snacks. We bring fun.
We bring us.
There is us, which is always a pleasure.
Yeah, Thursday is the first Cowboys game. I might not leave Twin Peaks. It'll probably be in all through the blitz and everything.
Oh, is that
halftime? Will be out at Twin Peaks.
No, I'm saying that the Cowboys play Thursday night.
A week from today.
Mm-hmm. Tampa gets their rings.
Yeah, see, you can do that at 30. You can pull a 11 to 10. I can't pull that.
I can't
do 11 to 10, dog.
No, I need a nap after halftime.
They put me out. They'd be like, "Yo, you can't sleep here, sir."
I have to prepare. I have to carbo load. I have to, if I know a day like that is coming, I have to clear the day after. It's not just one day of drinking. It's a 1 day of prep, one day of drinking, and 1 day of recovery. And then that next day, I might need to clear out the morning.
Oh,
to make sure I can make it through. So we have our San Antonio Sports Star fantasy draft is coming up on Saturday. Not only will the listener league be drafting, but the team, all of us will be drafting out at the Roo Pub. This is not a sponsored event by anything, but it is an event we're all going to be around. So if you want to hang with us and see fantasy draft and just watch some great college football, join us out at the Roo Pub. We're going to be out drafting all day long on Saturday. So Friday will be a day of prep, a day of electrolyte loading, a day of all the getting everything ready, because Saturday going to be a long one.
Because you got A&M.
Got A&M at 7. I got a fantasy draft at 1. We got college football all day long.
Sunday's a wash. You're not doing anything Sunday.
It will be a day on the couch, getting ready, planning, acting as if.
I got a full weekend too.
And then Monday, we get another day.
Monday. I got a full weekend. I got a wedding to go to Sunday. I got anniversary weekend. It's a full weekend.
Anniversary. Today's my wife's birthday.
Happy birthday, Miss Thompson.
Happy birthday, baby. I got a birthday coming up this weekend. A lot of birthdays and celebrations. I guess it's a Memorial Day weekend. Or, is this Memorial Day or Labor Day? I always get them confused. Labor Day. So we're celebrating the worker this weekend.
The
workers.
By not working.
That's how it should be done. Real quickly, the New Orleans Saints, or should I say Jacksonville Saints, in the short term due to Ida, are going to have to play away from home. Now, they have their first home game coming up against the Green Bay Packers. Then they'll have a couple of weeks on the road, so they're not too worried about it, and hopefully they'll make it back to the Dome. They announced that they chose Florida, first of all, because they had ready access to 3 professional football stadiums. And the professional football stadium is key. Before, when the Saints were looking for a place to play, the Alamo Dome was perfect. It was unopened, had plenty of fans ready to come and cheer, and it was, not too far from New Orleans. It was all the things that were perfect. The reason the Dome was not in consideration this time was, one, there's not the right equipment. With the advent of the NFL replay system, all of the current NFL stadiums are wired for that. Alamo Dome is not. It might be an idea to go buy that stuff. Just a little pointer to our Alamo Dome management. Maybe we go find that stuff on the market.
Just to have it.
Just in case. So maybe we could get those. So San Antonio not on the list. They looked to Florida. The Saints looked down at Miami, and as Miami would be a great place. I'm sure the Saint fan were like, yes, let's go to Miami. Well, they realized that flights coming out of Wisconsin and to Miami were a lot cheaper and a lot more readily available than other places. So they decided, well, we don't want a bunch of Packer fans sitting there in the Hard Rock Stadium, so we're not going to Miami. Then they checked via Expedia what were the flight costs from Green Bay and Milwaukee and everywhere else Packer fan would come to Jacksonville. Not only is it more difficult to get to Jacksonville, but the flights are more expensive, so there's not as much concern about Packer fan coming into Florida and cheering against the hometown or home field Saints. So they chose Jacksonville. Makes sense.
That's smart.
That is a Sean Payton move.
That is very, 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 as they would say, very, very smart.
But what are they going to do in 3 weeks? We'll wait and see. They do have 2 consecutive.
It still looks
games.
bad down there. I don't know when they're going back. It looks awful down there.
My experience is they're going to be playing in New Orleans in 3 weeks.
They're going to try to, for sure.
There's certainly other issues, but I think that as long as everybody else has their power on, you can take a day to go and play some football. I think it's good for the community. I think it's good for everybody to kind of get a respite for that. I think the Saints are going to do everything they can to get themselves back into New Orleans. And I'm so glad that if it would have been San Antonio, we would have started that let's take their team kind of chant again. Do you think it would have come that way? Do you think we'd have gone there again?
Oh, of course, because it's now you're in a situation where this has happened twice. And it's like, how much longer do you want to deal with this? But the Dome, while I love the Dome, and I think it ended up being a great investment because of everything that goes on in there, it still would need another. It still would need another $1 billion facelift for a real legit NFL team. Like 05, man, cool. 2021, nowhere near NFL standards. It's worse than Buffalo.
Yeah, always a day late and a dollar short with that. We're always playing catch up. And I don't think an NFL team will ever play consistently in that Dome. Ever.
No, heck no.
If they ever came, it'd be a brand new stadium. We are up against it coming back in the 8 o'clock hour. Oh my goodness. Herbie is the voice of college football, or at least the conscience, and he loves them some A&M. We'll tell you why. You'll hear from him. Ed Oliver lost a necklace, then found it in all of your updates. 8 o'clock is going to be fun, but it won't be nearly as much unless you're with us. Hang around. It's R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Blitz, sports talk, and everything else.
Let's just say a young lady. She's got a guy that just doesn't understand, I'm not interested in you. This guy, his number has been blocked. Everything, including writing a ridiculously sappy letter. Yet he does not quite get that she is not interested. That is the Texans and Deshaun Watson right now.
Jason Minix, weekday afternoons 4 to 7 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Thanks to fans like you, you can now buy Kielbasa products just about everywhere. We hope you continue to enjoy our handcrafted, small batch smoked meats because we sure enjoy making them for you. So grab some today and let me know what you think. My number's on the back of every pack. Right by my promise that if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm that voice from movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at directv.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Come varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
For nearly 30 years, Thomas J. Henry has fought day in and day out for every client we've had the honor of representing. In our town, in our community, we will always be the name you trust. Thomas J. Henry. Available 24/7 nights and weekends. San Antonio, Texas.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 at 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart, Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
Words are important. They're also dangerous. The old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, needs to be retired. Words have the power to hurt and to hurt someone worse than sticks and stones. There is a principle for speech that comes straight from James, the brother of Jesus. He writes, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger." To listen is to try and understand the other guy. Listening before speaking always makes speaking better. Slow to speak underscores the power of words for the better and the worse. As you know, once you say something, it's nearly impossible to take it back, even after apologies. You cannot unring that bell. And then finally, slow to anger. Anger most of the time is danger. My worst moments as a husband and father were those moments where my words had a little anger mixed into them. James's advice is good. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. This is Mark Absher, the MacArthur Park Church of Christ. Visit us online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at the reopening of Edwin Watts. We've weathered the storm, and now we're open. Come visit our newly remodeled store featuring GC quads in every hitting bay. Check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts has the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more in stock. Swing by our newly remodeled store and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is here to keep your car on the road with the right parts, advice from our parts professionals, and our free loaner tool program. Your local store has more than 80 specialty tools available for your next repair. Refundable deposit required. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and ask about our free loaner tool program or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly
Auto Parts.
ESPN Radio presents This Day in Sports.
It was Labor Day 1994 at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The 49ers and Raiders kicked off the season on Monday Night Football. While the 49ers blew the Raiders out 44-14, it was Jerry Rice who made history. After his third touchdown of the game, he passed Jim Brown as the career touchdown leader with 127. He went on to total 208 touchdowns in his career and still remains the NFL career leader.
Brought to you by the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Credit Card.
You're gearing up to get back out on the field, so you ordered ballgame essentials like a new glove, cleats, and a jumbo pack of sunflower seeds. And you used your Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards that you put toward the cost of an essential piece of your post-game recovery. A heating pad. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Hey, baseball fans. FanDuel is hooking new users up with an instant bonus up to $500 when you make your first fantasy deposit. Just sign up using promo code PLAY and get your bonus today. Then, use that bonus to play in one of FanDuel's big daily fantasy contests, where first place takes home even bigger prizes. You'll love playing fantasy baseball on FanDuel. It's easy to start. Just choose the players you want while staying under the salary cap, and you only need to set one lineup. Take on thousands of baseball fans from across the country, or create your own private fantasy league and play against your friends. The scoring system is simple, and payouts are fast, like 24-hour fast. But most of all, you'll love the variety that FanDuel has to offer. Beginner-only contests, big contests with bigger prizes, daily snake draft contests, and many, many more. So get in on the action and download the FanDuel Fantasy app today and sign up using promo code PLAY so they know we sent you. Again, that's promo code PLAY. Age and location restrictions apply.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. R&R in the morning.
Morning.
It's official. The day has begun. Rudy's got his cup of coffee going. that normally hits about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, let's go.
What
Refuel.
do we have a particular flavor that we went with today?
No,
out of the
whatever's in the cupboard up here.
Is it still Starbucks stuff?
We got the good stuff up here.
We went from, readily available big thermoses of coffee. I guess COVID, we don't do that anymore. You have to make it individual. Is that what?
Probably.
Although I don't think that's everywhere. I think that was just us because we had the big machines. But when the COVID shut down, and a lot of people will never come back into this building. They don't need to be. They went away, and now we just have those little pods.
Little Keurig.
I'd never had those before. Not being a coffee drinker, it was something I never had. And I was amazed at the different flavors that we had access to.
A lot of different flavors. They get expensive, though.
Do they?
It can get expensive, especially the Starbucks ones.
Well,
so they rolled out the red carpet for the comeback because those Starbucks Keurigs are expensive.
I buy the jugs of the iced coffee. Those things aren't cheap either, but I was caffeinating myself into.
You stopped. I haven't seen you with one in a while.
I have really slowed down to the point where I didn't even have any coffee this morning.
How you feel?
Well,
yeah,
I could use it. I'm not gonna lie. There's something to this stuff.
Exactly. It works. Does it work, Karl? Karl has one every morning. A huge ass glass.
I've actually slowed down today. I needed it, but I used to have 2 of my containers every day, and now what I've done instead is I've just had 1 cup, but like a much smaller cup before I come to work, and then I've switched to water when I get to work, and that's actually working much better for me.
Y'all are quitters. Y'all are just running from the ground, running from coffee.
I should know all this through life experience because I did not grow up drinking a lot of coffee. Now, coffee has a variety of effects on the human body.
Yeah. Okay.
One of them is to wake you up and get you moving. Yeah. The other is to wake other parts of your body up and get it moving as well. So I did not. You have to plan. You have to. You have to decide.
You got to make sure where you're going to be.
Proper time to begin your coffee intake because in about 30 minutes, there's going to be something you're going to need to do. And if you don't plan the appropriate timing, which I did not grow up knowing.
Right.
Like you might be sitting in traffic some 30 minutes after you had your first cup of coffee and things get interesting.
And get the chills.
Get that little
legs start shaking.
That little tense moment like and just waiting for that. Just waiting for the backup because
see, the black doesn't do that to me.
Really?
I drink it black. It doesn't do that.
So it's the creamer that gets things moving?
I think it's the creamer that gets things moving.
And basically because I didn't grow up drinking coffee, my coffee is mostly about half creamer. Because,
that's all good. You got to make it to where you like it.
And I also have a little touch. I'm not intolerant of lactose.
But you're close.
But there are days when lactose in my body do not tolerate.
I know what you mean.
So having extra creamer, some days are good, some days aren't. So I had to kind of learn to regulate my intake.
Dude.
And that's something you should learn as a kid. Yeah. That's one of those early life lessons that I never learned.
Yeah, I didn't drink coffee until, I don't remember, I probably in my 30s. I didn't start till my 30s, so I wouldn't know.
You actually, I told you how much coffee I drank when we first started talking about R&R in the morning before the morning show.
Yeah.
And you just shook your head at me and said, "You're too young to be doing that to yourself, man." So that actually started me slowing down my coffee because you're right. I don't need it. I just enjoyed it because it's a tasty drink to me.
I got you.
It stunted his growth. He's only 6'4".
I know. I mean, damn.
it really stunted him down. Just think of what
I didn't know Karl was that big because we were.
Karl's a big old dude.
Like we were Twitter buddies. Like, yeah. And, we were like good friends on Twitter before we met each other.
So there went stunting.
We didn't catfish each other, but when I saw him, I was like, damn, Karl's a pretty big dude. Not in a fat way. I mean,
no, he's a
tall way.
Big dude. When did you first start?
Tight end.
Yeah. Was it something that was you have to be a certain age before you can have it, or did you get it the first time you wanted it?
I never needed it until I started broadcasting these softball tournaments that started at 7 a.m. Austin time because they were out on the East Coast, and I was then shifting over to the West Coast because they were remote broadcast in Austin. So I went from like 7 to 9 just broadcasting softball all day. It paid well, but I needed to be very caffeinated and very focused.
But
that's a lot of talking and play-by-play. You gotta have coffee.
But you didn't drink it as like in high school. You didn't start drinking coffee, or did you?
No, I don't think I needed it until that point, which was recently after I graduated college, and then I never touched it before then.
But as a kid, it's not about need; it's about want.
Yeah,
did you want it?
Yeah, my wife's grandmother would make a huge pot and give it to them at 5, 6 years old.
I grew up with families. Coffee was just like milk. What do you want to drink this morning at 8?
Yeah.
You want milk, coffee, orange juice? And I would spend the night with them like, you guys get coffee?
Exactly.
My mom and dad never let me have any coffee. Let me have some of that. And you're like, ooh, this doesn't taste right to me.
No.
But it wasn't we weren't offered it. I don't think we were ever had it turned down. My parents drink coffee. It's just not.
Oh, my mother-in-law has 3 a day. If she doesn't have, and she'll drink one at like 9 at night.
That's my mother.
Like if she don't have it, she gets a headache.
I think that's that caffeine addiction that.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is like it'll be 9 at night. I'm like, you're about to go to bed at 10:30, and she can go to sleep. I don't know how she does it.
How are you on the other kind of like the 5-hour energies and Bang and Red Bulls?
The what is it? Ghost? That stuff is crack. That stuff gets me going because I don't do them often. Like the energy drinks, when I do, like I was drinking them in Oxnard because in Oxnard, for whatever reason, even though like my body was 5'3", it was weird.
Yeah.
I was having a coffee and a Ghost, and the Ghost was getting me because we were doing R&R and then we were doing halftime.
Right.
So that Ghost got me through. The energy drinks and the 5-hour energy, because I don't do them, my body's like, what is this?
That's a lot.
Let's go.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And active.
I think my body's used to this one cup of coffee, but when I add a Ghost or a Up or whatever, it's like, let's go.
I had no idea. I see that area in the C-store, the brightly colored big cans.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really paid attention to all the different ones because, basically to me, there's Red Bull and 5-hour energy. And
you and Jason got me on 5-hour energy. I never had those until y'all gave them to me.
I can do those, but even that,
you get going, the heart rate
kind of gets you. Yeah, you'll notice your heart.
The heart rate's different.
A little nervous, a little twitchy.
I don't
know
like
why.
that feeling.
No, I don't like that at all because it lingers. 5 hours from now, I don't want to feel like this.
Twitchy anxiety. Like I don't. It's different, but I needed it in Oxnard.
During the pandemic, when I was working remotely, I would have 2 bangs a day, and it started to mess with my heart.
Yeah,
I started to feel my heart like saying, please stop. Yeah. So I stopped.
My doctor said early on, and this was about a Red Bull. This is 20 years ago. He said, every time you drink a Red Bull, I want you to just think of this. Why don't you just consider pulling your liver out of your body and just banging it with a hammer and then putting it back? Every time you drink one, it is so bad for you. And it's not just the caffeine, it's like the guarana and all the other stuff all combined. He's like, this stuff is awful. It's battery acid, man. Don't drink it. Drink coffee, and even that in moderation.
But they scared of a vaccine.
Truer words were never spoken.
Joe Rogan is one of the people who said he's caught COVID, and I think he's using the horse tranquilizer.
Yeah, he got COVID. I saw the Instagram. I follow Rogan. He's like the male Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
Like people worship Rogan, so I was just kind of one of those. It was like a FOMO for me, fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't like some huge Rogan guy, but it's just like everyone's talking about this guy. Let me see what's up. So yesterday I saw I've been following him about a couple years now. I've watched a few of the podcasts, not all of them. And he said that he took the ivermectin, whatever. He's not a vaxxer guy. He named like all this stuff he took, and he was like, and I'm fine in 3 days. And all the comments are like, yeah. And I'm just like, dude.
In his defense, I've listened to the Joe Rogan podcast as well. I can tell you that he has gotten crazier experiences based off what he's put in his body. He has talked about microdosing and shrooms and ayahuasca.
He also has HGH gut. If you know when you abuse HGH, it does something to your stomach, and you get this weird, like you could be the most in shape person, but you have palumboism, I think that's what it's called. it's weird when it's what happens when you have abused HGH over years.
Mhm.
So you abuse HGH, even if it's doctor prescribed. I don't care. Doctors are there to make money. You take ivermectin or whatever you call it. But we scared of a vaccine. I'm lost. I don't want to argue with y'all about it, but I'm confused.
You need to put some horse tranquilizer in your body to knock it out. Go ahead, knock yourself out, man. But that just tells me how scared people are when they get it. Like, oh no, positive. You got any of that horse tranquilizer? I mean, everybody starts to panic. Like, maybe I should have gotten that thing.
Dude,
And so
every morning I wake up and try to smell something.
We're not going to.
Am I good? Every morning I'm like, can I taste? I smell my breath. Am I good?
All good. All good. One more
every
day.
morning. That's the world we live in. Every morning I'm seeing if I can smell.
That's the first sign. And if you, it just proves that, yeah, maybe you should have got. But no, that's not politics. That's science. That's science. We'll stick it with that. And we're going to talk COVID for sure and its effect that's going on right now across the different leagues. If you are a player in New York or San Francisco of any sport, you might need to get the shot by mandate and not by the team, by the place that you're living and where you can play. We'll talk there for sure. But let's get you caught up on all of the headlines. It's probably been 12, 14 hours since you saw sports news. So let's get it going. Karl, catch them up.
Here's the 411 in the 210.
Headline 2. Rory McIlroy says it's pretty tough to beat Bryson DeChambeau right now. Quote, Rory McIlroy said, I certainly feel some sympathy for him because I don't think that you should be ostracized or criticized for being different. And I think we have all known from the start that Bryson is different and he is not going to conform to the way people want him to be.
All right, Rob, I'm going to let you have it. This is your guy. I'm going to let you have this topic.
You mean you're not going to become a decent human being? To conform to he's just a douche. Some people, he can't help it. That's who he is.
Some people are just like that.
But if you're going to, it's better to be thought a douche than do something to prove and then prove it. Not only do we think he is, he does stuff to prove it. And that Brooksy thing, dude, you brought it on yourself.
Right.
You and Koepka going back and forth, and we talk about, is it good for golf? We're talking about it right now. But you're going to have some thicker skin, my brother. If you're going to do that, if you're going to act like that,
it comes with the territory.
It should be. And you know what? If you become the greatest golfer in the world, give me 2 number 1 signs and say, yeah, here I am.
We need a villain. Golf needs a villain, and it seems like it is DeChambeau. For whatever, because again, there's a lot of people that I'm talking to buddies this weekend, I don't even know why I don't like him.
Because you just watch him and you can just tell that this dude has that kind of self-entitled,
he seems like
the guy better than you attitude.
Yeah, he tells a better story. You tell your story about your dog, and then he tells his story about his dog that's 20 pounds heavier.
Twice as long, twice as fast, and twice as good.
Yes, he's that guy. You can definitely tell that DeChambeau always tells a better story. But asking the people to be removed, that I like him. But that was low. Like, really, bro? You're going to have people removed and put it on the PGA Tour that they can't say it? And the Tour Championship starts this
All it's going to do is turn the volume up. You tell a bunch of golf fans, hey, we know you hate him, but don't say anything. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Let's wait till he's on the tee box and I start
So if
screaming,
I can't say Brooksy, can I say Koepka?
I don't know.
I can't say Brooksy, but can I scream Koepka?
We'll have to check Bryson's trigger words and make sure that he has a safe space for when people make fun of him or comment.
Trigger. I love that word. That's another word that's taken over our society.
Don't you hate it when people use those lingos? What are your triggers? What is your love language? What is my what? My
music is my love language, Rob.
Is it? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess mine, I think, is using a power tool.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. What does that even mean?
It means what puts you in a good mood? What are some things that put you in a good mood?
Is that it? That's what that
kinda.
Oh. I thought it was the way I took it to mean something completely different. How do you express your feelings for someone else?
Yeah, that's in that way. When you and your wife, what are some things that
my wife has said
y'all communicate through what?
Words. No. Well-written notes.
Are y'all watching this?
I am not the most romantic man in the world.
I'm not either. I get in trouble for it.
And today being my wife's birthday, this is one of those tough days.
Yeah.
because you don't know exactly where you sit. Moving on before I get myself in trouble.
Yeah, we're 0 for 3 on that. We're going to have to work together to be more romantic, gentlemen.
Oh, I know it.
Headline 1. Weather disrupts U.S. Open play at Louis Armstrong Stadium despite the retractable roof. Rain poured through gaps in the roof in the stadium on Wednesday, disrupting second round of play at U.S. Open. Arthur Ashe Stadium and Louis Armstrong Stadium are the only courts at Flushing Meadows that can be covered during bad weather. But even that was an issue as wind helped push rain through the spaces between the concourse and the retractable cover at Armstrong. After 2 hours of steady rain, the stadium was completely soaked, halting play in the show court. This is all from Hurricane Ida, which started in Louisiana and worked its way all the way up to New York, and New York is underwater right now.
Ida's showing her teeth. Have y'all seen the videos of the subway?
Yes.
Crazy.
What was more crazy is New Yorkers acting like it was no big deal. They're just walking through the subway like, I got to get home.
Dude,
like in San Antonio, we'd be like,
I was in New York. Everywhere. I was in New York. It's been a long time ago. And, I was in the subway taking the train, and it was starting to rain.
Okay.
I get off the subway. We're going from uptown to downtown, down to Manhattan, whatever it is. I get off the subway, and as the train pulls into the station, you see people like running. But I wouldn't. We get off the train, and water is coming down the stairs like it is a freaking river. And by the time I get from the train to the stairs, the water is already mid-shin and rising.
And this is on vacation.
This is just New York on a spring day. And people are like, yeah, this happens. The place floods.
See, I would be so upset if I'm on New York. I'm going to New York because I've never been, and that happens.
Well, you think,
so what'd you do? You just went upstairs?
If I hadn't gotten to the station yet and I was just in the tube.
Right.
I mean, what happens then? Yeah, they're nonchalant about it. I'm a little claustrophobic, not terribly. But that was scary, man.
Hell yeah, it's scary.
I had no idea. I thought they were, it's been around for so long. You'd think flooding would have been taken care of.
I mean, at some point you fix that.
Yeah, at some point you would have figured out.
That's what I say about Houston.
When you're underwater or underground, we need to make sure we can exit the water from the tube.
And then and the thing about it is you never expect these type of things to happen. So those holes in Arthur Ashe Stadium, you're like, we'll fix them. We'll get to it. It's like a honeydew at home. You just leave it until it explodes, and then you're in trouble. That's what happened last night at Arthur Ashe. It's like, man, when are we going to get 2 hours of consistent rain and get over 3 inches of rain? We'll be fine. And then next thing you know, the U.S. Open is halted because of rain. But for Ida to go from Louisiana and to have that type of impact in New York, she's an ugly you-know-what.
How hard is tennis to play in the rain?
I don't think you're allowed to play tennis in anything more than a light mist.
Yeah, I was just curious.
I would think it's terribly difficult.
Like there's no way you could do it.
The hand-eye with rain.
You slip when you're trying to chase after something.
That's why you couldn't do it in Wimbledon. You'd be playing in mud. Ball would bounce.
In mud, right?
And in clay, it'd be the same.
And then
thing.
with this one, it's so much starting and stopping at a fast pace. It's just no way.
No way. I mean, you can play in cleats, I guess.
I know.
It seems like that would be the only sport that you literally could not do in the rain.
Right, absolutely.
And I always felt like baseball. A little rain, you can play.
No, you can play a rain baseball. You got cleats on.
Moving on, we got what are we? We saw what's her name? Sloane Stephens.
She takes down Coco. She took down Coco. Straight sets. Whipped her pretty good.
I wonder how Coco's doing today. Should we check on her?
No, she doesn't want the media to check on her.
That's right.
We know it. Here we go. Y'all got jokes. Let's moving on. Let's get out of here
Headline
before we get Me Too. Get out of here. Let's go. Get me out of here. I want no part of it.
Patriots legend Deion Branch says Bill Belichick actually helped Cam Newton by cutting him Tuesday, explaining to TMZ Sports the move will allow the quarterback to find a starting job elsewhere. Branch's logic is simple. He says that if Newton had stayed in New England, he would have warmed the bench all season behind Mac Jones. Now, however, after releasing the former NFL MVP, Branch says Belichick allowed the 32-year-old to go and try and compete for a QB1 role in another city.
Only thing I heard was you called Deion Branch a legend.
I am reading what I copied from. Okay. I'm reading what I copied from TMZ.
With Patriot.
You said legend. Patriot legend.
So you got to
not you, but the guy who wrote it.
They give superstars out to like Kyle Kuzma on TMZ.
I was like, Patriot. I really literally stopped listening after I heard legend and Deion Branch. I was like, what? Did he say Deion Branch is a legend?
He did do him a favor. He did allow him to go because he could have kept him on the team.
How can you do him a favor 4 days before the season starts? There's really no job you can go compete for right now.
That was the typical.
A favor would have been 3 weeks ago.
It was the
cutting a guy before we start in 6 days is not a favor, Dion. Don't kiss up to them like that. It's not a favor.
Cam, it's not you, it's us. You're not wrong. It's
nobody
us.
wants to hear that.
So that's such a back. Yeah, you know what? We're doing you a favor by taking your money and taking your job away. At the end of the day, you're going to be better off for not getting paid the potential $8 million that you would have made. So you can thank us later. Yeah, he did do him a favor to allow him.
No, he did. In a way, I know what Dion's saying.
Go get a gig, but even Belichick knew that there was no gig waiting.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's better than him sitting over there. So I know what Dion meant. I'm just having some fun with it.
If you were Belichick and you were coming into this season and you're deciding with a rookie ranked quarterback who obviously impressed you and a veteran, the typical Belichickian move, the typical, other coach move would, Cam, you ain't going anywhere. I might need you.
Wow.
Belichick did him a huge favor by letting him go. But
that also tells me that longtime coordinator, gosh, am I having a brain fart
for the
Patriots?
Josh
McDaniels.
McDaniels, yeah.
And Belichick, what they've seen from Mac, and Belichick always has a poker face, but for him to let Cam go, they're over the moon about Mac Jones.
Oh, they are. No question.
You know what I mean? Like,
and they got him a way to protect him.
Yeah, they're over the moon about. They're like, this is it. We found our replacement in 1 year. So it speaks volumes about what they feel about him behind closed doors is what I took from it, more than anything.
We talk about the dynamic of Cam being the backup in the room.
It's a weird room.
You can't have that kind of
because Cam's a cigar guy. At this point, Cam's on the bench. Cam lighting up cigars in the quarterback meetings. Legs crossed, hat on. You know what I mean? Like, Cam's not coming in there it's not going to be a comfortable room. When you walk in a room and it's awkward when two guys don't like each other and it's like, damn. And you trying to tiptoeing. That's again, that doesn't mean Cam's a bad guy. Just a competitive guy.
And Jarrett Stidham's still the number 2, but they did pick up
dude, I forgot all about it.
Yeah, you will.
I forgot all about it.
And then they picked up Garrett Gilbert as well.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to come back talking some college football. Kirk Herbstreit, Herbie. I like Kirky.
I like Kirky.
The
conscience of college football. I love that nickname.
I really do believe he has kind of fostering that image. But he speaks to University of Texas and Texas A&M and the football climate there as he is making his world tour. The comparisons between the two as an Aggie, I certainly did enjoy. We'll see if you guys appreciate it and if you feel it's the same as I do, comparing fandom from the University of Texas and Texas A&M. We will hear from Herbstreit next. Hang around here. It's R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. It is Thursday. It is the weekend. Well, can we go ahead and quantify that it is the weekend? And then when the weekend comes, it's time to go to Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks happy hour will be going all weekend long, or every weekday for sure today, getting going at 4 and going all afternoon. Of course, when you head over to Twin Peaks for lunch, the food is going to be spectacular. But when it's football season, we head to Twin Peaks to surround ourselves with friends of like mind. People who are out to watch the games, they're going to be out there at Twin Peaks. You're looking for something to cheer for. We're going to tell you about it then, and you can go watch it at Twin Peaks. They're looking for new folks. So if you're looking for a job, you can have fun and make a ton of money at Twin Peaks. To learn more about it, they're looking for you. Twin Peaks girls, cooks, busters, barbacks, and more. Text WORK for TP to 85000 right now to apply. They are hiring right now this weekend. Of course, the TV is going to be full of all your favorite football games, dawn to dusk, day to night. Twin Peaks has every possible game in the official NFL kickoff next Thursday, September the 9th. Yes, your Dallas Cowboys will be on every TV where with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Game time. Get going about 7:20. Get there early, grab your seat, and get ready with all the great 29-degree cold beer, scenic views, and every angle. You've got what you're looking for. Twin Peaks, 3 great locations around San Antonio. My home field, Days of All and I-10. Karl and I will be out there next Thursday getting you ready for NFL. Yeah, halftime on the road. Over on 151 in Park North location, you know certain things to expect when you walk into Twin Peaks. 360 degrees of TVs, big enough so that you can see everything you want. All the fine food coming out of the kitchen, scratch made just for you. 29-degree cold beer, local brews and aged barrels of bourbon, the likes of which you don't find everywhere else. Twin Peaks got it all. They got the eats, they got the drinks, but why do we go? It's easy. It's those scenic views.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Yesterday was a tough afternoon for the Texas Major League Baseball teams, with both the Rangers and the Astros losing their series finales. The Houston Astros were edged out by the Seattle Mariners 1-0. Jake Odorizzi picked up the loss on the mound despite only allowing 1 run on 2 hits with 7 strikeouts and 5 innings pitched. The Rangers couldn't complete the sweep of the Colorado Rockies yesterday afternoon, despite having a lead the majority of the game by opening the scoring with a 5-run second inning. Colorado chipped away at the lead with 2 runs in the 4th and the 5th and took the lead with 5 runs in the 9th to escape Arlington with a win 9-4. Both Texas teams are off Thursday and pick up new series Friday, with Houston visiting San Diego and the Rangers visiting the Angels. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
R&R in the Morning, sitting with Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com is his website. Jason Thompson, I'm curious. I was in a car accident, but I wasn't the driver. I was just a passenger. Do I need a lawyer too?
I think anytime you are injured in an automobile collision, whether you were the driver, a passenger, the guy in the back seat, know this, that when insurance is involved, every insurance company I have ever heard of has a staff of lawyers on staff right now. As soon as that collision happens, whoever caused it is represented by an attorney. And if you think you're going to alone beat an insurance company's team of lawyers, you're sadly mistaken. The first thing you do is call me.
Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com, 210-900-0400. 210-900-0400, a lawyerforus.com.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with British accents. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, take it from a Brit.
Oi, barmy insurance blokes touching dosh out your pocket. It's barmy. Liberty Mutual won't leave you skint, mate.
Can you just say Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need?
I think that's what I said, you blooming.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.com.
O'Reilly. Get more miles on the road with O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system means better gas mileage for your car. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. For a clean, lubricated, more fuel-efficient system, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Your safety and full satisfaction is My Collision Center's top priority, using only original, not aftermarket parts at no extra cost to you. If you have an accident and you want direct factory parts at no extra cost to you, choose My Collision Center. Visit mycollisioncenters.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
The 1947 Notre Dame Fighting Irish entered the season with quarterback Johnny Lujack, the Heisman favorite, and an offensive line considered one of the greatest in college football. The talented Irish squad didn't disappoint. They went on to an undefeated season and won the national championship after defeating unbeaten and third-ranked USC 38-7. 46 players went on to play in the NFL.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Recruiting is what separates you from the rest of the field. It's true in college football and even truer in business. LinkedIn Jobs is here to help your small business find the candidates worth interviewing faster, and it's free. Create a free job post in minutes to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of 770 million people. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. You could have your star talent in place this fall. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings stars, I don't know this man, Simu Liu. He must confront the past he thought he left behind when he is drawn into the web of mysterious Ten Rings organization. That's my life. They have lifted my life and made this into a movie. I thought I'd left my past behind, and the Ten Rings organization keeps following me. You want to go? We have got Fandango codes for you. We're going to do it quick on the draw, 656-3776. That's your ESPN Kielbasa Bacon phone line, 656 ESPN. Dial either way. You'll get into Karl and get your info and go see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Marvel Studios' first Asian superhero.
Shout out to Marvel.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. This is one of those big screen movies that'll be lost unless you see it on a big one.
Absolutely.
I was the other night flipping through, and I saw on Disney Plus that I could watch. They had the icon for the Black Widow. I thought, oh wow, I can watch Black Widow.
Heard it was really good.
It was going to be $28.
I might as well go to the movie.
Well, yeah, that's and probably a better movie to watch in the theaters anyway.
Hell no, I ain't doing that.
I know that HBO Max, that you don't have to pay extra. The movies just drop there in the theater.
You pay $15 a month and you get whatever they drop.
You get all, and now you get pretty much all the Universal catalog. But one more reason to go back to the movies. We're going to send you free. We're going to give away another pair of tickets here in the next hour before we run out of time. Kirk Herbstreit is, football starts this weekend, and Kirk is. As we've been saying all morning long, I believe he is the conscience of college football, sometimes for the good, sometimes the bad, but he is the guy everybody turns to. And when you're talking the length and breadth of football, the biggest shift since we last saw the game day crew was the addition of Texas and OU to the SEC as soon as they can get bail money and get out of the jail that is the Big 12. Kirk was on an SB Nation podcast, and I need to make sure I'll have the appropriate group that he was on with yesterday, discussing A&M and Texas joining the SEC, and he has some perspective on the fandom between the two. Listen to Kirk and what he has to say, and we'll see if you have to agree with it. Let's hear it, Karl.
One thing I'll add to this, just as like a little bit of a caveat, they're not as passionate about sports. I don't know if they have other, how Michigan, they have great fans, but like compared to Madison or State College or Columbus or Iowa, it's almost like, we went to the game, but we're running companies and we're doing other things. We got other things going on besides football. Our lives, are bigger than if we went on a Saturday. Well, in Columbus and Madison and State College, their lives that next week are predicated upon what happened last Saturday. In Michigan, they got more things going on, it seems like. That's what Texas feels like when you go to Austin. Like, they'll show up, and if the team's winning and it's a fun thing to do, they'll go to the game. But like, you go to A&M, holy cow! Yeah, Texas A&M, it's a religion, right? It's
the only thing. Yeah.
And so I don't know if the passion and the support is in Austin the way it is in some of these other places.
Is that a fair statement?
Look, I'm going to disagree because from where I'm sitting, Longhorn fan is super passionate. Mm-hmm. Now, for the people that actually live in Austin, and I told you this before the show, I compare Austin to Dallas. Like, the people that live in Austin and Dallas, the Cowboys and the Longhorns may be an event, but the surrounding areas and the rest of Texas, it's church. It's church. It's religion. But again, if Herbstreit was just talking about in Austin, I fully agree. But if he's just talking about as a whole, I have to respectfully disagree with the conscience. And then is that a compliment to you all?
Well, there's a couple things in this.
Yeah, talk to me.
Now, I think that he's absolutely right, but for a different reason. I think Texas, and this is coming from an Aggie. This is a hard and painful truth to accept. That the brand that I almost said TU, and I won't. The brand that Texas carries, the Longhorn, the football brand, is bigger than the A&M football brand. The brand is just bigger. And I think because of that, Texas has far more T-shirt fans than A&M.
Yes, absolutely.
So T-shirt fans are fair weather fans. They'll run a good game when Texas is winning. They'll buy the tickets. They'll show up as long as they're winning because they're bragging on that. But when there's no real connection other than the shirt they bought at Walmart, when the team is losing, that shirt gets folded up. It's a lot like Laker fan. Laker fan comes out of the woodwork when things are going good. That Laker jersey comes out. When it goes south, that Laker jersey kind of goes away.
Started off as a compliment.
No,
then he hit you with 3 jabs.
But no, I think true Texas fan is always going to be passionate. But because there are so many more T-shirt fans, when things go bad, those guys disappear, and when things get good, they'll be back. A&M doesn't have T-shirt fans. We'd like to have T-shirt fans.
I'm a T-shirt fan.
Well, not to the extent that, I mean, you're a T-shirt fan, but have you ever been? You ever gone?
No.
See,
I'm a T-shirt fan.
Texas T-shirt fan goes. They go to the games. It's an event.
True.
And it's a
But I just started.
It's an event. Yeah. But it's bigger than just football. You're at Austin, 6th Street, all the stuff that goes along with being an Austin.
Sure.
And then and as you just said, that it was kind of a backslap to Aggies. It's all they got. Well,
is that true, Rob?
I think that there was a long time when it was. When I first landed in College Station, we had one chain restaurant. There were no Chili's.
Right.
We had like a Golden Corral, a Golden Trough. That's all we had. One hotel. And this was back in the late 80s, early 90s, when A&M was still one of the biggest universities, if not in the country. And we had one big hotel, the Hilton. There was not everything else was motels, doors opening out.
Right.
There were no chain restaurants. So there was that's all we got.
So now there's a little bit more to do.
Now it's a true city. You got everything. You've got more than just that, performing arts, all the other things. Is it Austin? Absolutely not. It'll never be Austin. One, because it can't, and one, because they don't want to be Austin. There is more than just football. And I think that the theme is, well, that's all they got. I think that's a backhand slap. But you don't have the T-shirt fans. So there is a bit more passion because they are going to come back. And I think Kirk Herbstreit, as he went on in the article, made the distinction that, Texas fan is passionate, especially when they're winning.
I think so too.
But when Vince left and Mac Brown left, yes, the program dove and you saw some empty seats. When Johnny Football left A&M, the biggest thing that had ever happened to that football program, not only did they build more seats, they still didn't have enough room. Even when Johnny left, even when things looked bleak in the SEC and they were winning 3 games in conference, there was never an empty seat in the building. When Texas dipped a little bit, there were. And I think that's the only difference. And that's because those T-shirt fans are fair weather.
I agree with that. Pledge agrees. He says as fans were different. He says the Aggies fans a little bit different than Texas
fans.
And
we have to accept truths, even though they become myth. And there isn't a whole lot more in College Station than the football team. And it is a 365 conversation by everybody. Where in Austin, basketball season comes around and you kind of dive into
concert,
that.
ACL,
Concerts, you see a naked Will walking, Matthew McConaughey walking down the street. You can talk about that. You got other stuff happening.
Team,
You got new MLS, and all we got is more football. And let's just, what do we got to do today? Let's pay Jimbo some more money. Make us feel good about ourselves.
86,000 season tickets at Kyle Stadium or Kyle Field have been sold. And that was the problem during the pandemic was, 50% capacity is not going to cut it. We have too many season ticket holders.
We're still putting 40,000
Yeah, they'll start ranking them
in the stands to get it all taken care of. We're so glad you're with us on an R&R in the morning coming back. Where are we headed coming back?
Give them what to cheer for.
Give them what to cheer for. Lots to cheer for coming back. We're going to give you the rundown starting tonight and all weekend long. Things you need to be watching and cheering for. Brought to you by Texas Cheer. Hold on. It's R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Friday nights under the lights. Don't miss the high school football game of the week. Powered by Hill Electric. Electric. This Friday on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I'm with Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti. Dr. Garrett, we talk about the number of visits that it ordinarily takes to get better. Explain to me why Arasti is so good and so quick at resolving pain.
Well, for one thing, our last 750 to 800,000 cases, injuries that we've treated, we averaged 3.2 visits with a 90% completely resolved rate. The reason we're able to do this, we spend a lot of quality time with the patient, do all the appropriate testing, and then deliver a really specific manual therapy and active care, two of the most evidence-based things you can do for a patient to get them better. And we also do a really good job of educating our patients to be an active participant in the recovery process, because if they understand what caused their injury, what we did to make it better, and how they're going to keep it that way, their outcome is much, much better.
You talk about training the patient to react to the injury and protect themselves from future injuries. Is that why so many of your patients recommend it to friends and family?
That's a really good point. We have a 99.6% recommended to friends and family percentage, which I don't think mother's love is quite that high. Or would you like to make more money? We've checked on the statistics. We can't find a statistic actually higher than that.
Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti. Now, you go to make the visit. I know that there is a thorough clinical evaluation. What is involved there?
So we're going to go through functional, range of motion, orthopedic, neurologic testing after doing a really detailed evaluation from a history standpoint. The most important part of that is once we rule out any things we shouldn't treat, fractures, tears, other conditions that can mimic some of this pain, then what we're going to do is do a really, really good functional test to find out what you can and can't do. And then during the treatment, we're going to treat you and retest to find out if we made you better or not. And by the end of it, you should know 100% chance you're in the right place.
Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Check out the website, Arasti.com, AIRROSTI.com. The number to remember, 1-800-404-6050. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
We've got your free tickets to see every Dallas Cowboys home game all season long. Register to win now at sasportsstar.com. Cheer on America's team on your home for Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
San Antonio's home for sports talk is right here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. Congratulations, Steven. He got a couple of tickets to go check out Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. We got some more tickets to give away today, all day. Have some on the halftime, have some on the Blitz, and we'll have some in the next hour. The season is upon us, man. We got college football. We saw some games last night.
Yeah.
Got games today. Got all weekend long. Got to get ready. Our San Antonio teams are hitting the road. You're curious what to cheer for? Well, look at UTSA and Incarnate Word. You know, what to cheer for? Texas Cheer.
Texas Cheer.
How do you
by
cheer?
Texas Cheer.
How do you cheer for your favorite team? You crack your favorite brew. You sit down, put on your favorite T-shirt, your fandom shirt, whether you're a T-shirt fan and a loom, you send some money that way and you cheer for them. Our local schools are hitting the Midwest. Incarnate Word University, heading up to Youngstown State, taking on a very good football team. But let's not kid ourselves. UIW, they had a fine last season. Good running back, good quarterback, great offense, while Youngstown is probably favored. You can check them out at ESPN Plus and watch the Cardinals travel north. This is a playoff team last year with a high-powered offense. Eric Morris is an offensive genius. The guy knows how to call a football game, and this is a program on the come. Certainly want to cheer for our Cardinals this weekend as they head up to Youngstown State. That game will be on, like we said, ESPN Plus, and we'll get going on Saturday. We also have UTSA traveling up to the Urbana. When I was at tech school, there was an old Air Force base just outside of Champaign in Chanute, Illinois, Chanute Air Force Base. And they called it back then, I called it the Champaign-Urbana Metroplex. They seem to have flipped it. Now it's Urbana-Champaign. U of I in Champaign, big old stadium, and UTSA and Jeff Traylor heading up to take on the Big Ten, Illinois.
They just beat Nebraska.
Brent Bielema.
That's kind of scary for me if for UTSA, but nonetheless, if put on that blue and orange, pop your brew and get to cheering for them because they're going to need it.
Did I hear you say that Texas Cheer Liquor has the Yingling? Can I get a keg of Yingling from them? About
a keg. You can get a keg. You can get a 6.
If I went into Texas Cheer today and I said, "What's your best tequila?" How many choices do you think I'd have? 15, 20, 25?
Yeah, a lot. 15, 20. And if they don't have it, they order it for you.
And if I wanted to pair that with a good cigar, would they be able to suggest one for me?
Cigars there too.
Is there a Rudy J pick of the week cigar that you would like to offer?
Ooh.
I had over the weekend. The reason I bring this up,
what'd you have?
We smoked some cigars with a good friend on the other, and I'm a cigar appreciator, but I appreciate them more when people give them to me.
Yes. As we all do, my brother.
I kind of appreciate,
as we all do,
because when I buy cigars, I'm always shocked at the quality that I like. It gets a little expensive.
Yeah,
but it's worth it. So I had a good punch. Punch was the brand I had.
Whole wall of tequila is what I'm told. But you had a punch. There is a punch that I like. It's the Diablo. That's a really good one. But I think my go-to right now is well, I won't say right now, but I don't want to tell you the Nica Rustica. That's a little bit strong.
What is it?
That's a little. You know what? I'll tell you. The perfect cigar for the guy that likes cigars but doesn't want to be spinning. I smoked one yesterday. It's the New World, made by AJ Fernandez, the Cameroon selection. Just a great consistent smoke all the way through. It has
Cameroon wrapper. Is that where it's grown? Is that what you called it?
No, it's a Cameroon selection. Now, I don't know where it's grown or whatever, but it's a green label wrap. It's called the New World, made by AJ Fernandez, Cameroon selection. Good smoke. Like I said, you ain't going to be spinning, but you're going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I smoked one yesterday, 7x48, like Churchill.
That's
a little
big
skinnier. It's long, but it's skinny. The skinnier ones, you get more flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people want to look cool and smoke the big fat cigar. I'm not a big
bat.
Yeah, I ain't a 60 gauge guy. I don't like those. They're a little bit too hard to pull. You don't really get all the notes. So New World Cameroon selection.
Something, Rudy.
Let's start.
I want you to start talking cigars with us. I want
I'm
on a
get some help
regular
from people, but yeah,
I think this is something because I'm interested.
I am too.
Because there's a lot for me to learn. Like if the darker the wrapper means it's stronger.
It could be stronger, but then you could also get some boo-boo. But it's most of the time it's stronger. Most of the time the Maduro is a little stronger.
And the lighter the wrapper, what does that mean?
A little bit lighter smoke.
A little bit lighter smoke.
Lighter smoke.
I thought it was
sometimes you just want to enjoy a cigar and you don't want to be zoned out. And like I've had some bad experience with cigar where I've had to go lay down, the room spinning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like there's some cigars that will put you on your back. Yesterday,
that wasn't one of those doctored up cigars.
No,
wasn't one of them.
No.
Because I hear that's pretty common.
Yeah, that's pretty common. But no, so yeah, let's do that. Let's figure that out. Let's figure it out. Let's do cigar of the week or something like that. We got to figure that out.
I want to go get a spectacular tequila, a little bit of bourbon to enjoy my weekend. Where do I head over for Texas Cheer?
Texas Cheer Liquor, 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 at Highway 90 in Montgomery, and they all new Texas Cheer Liquor, where your boy Jason Minix will be out there today, 4 to 7. They'll be doing some tastings. That's out at 1431 Palo Alto, and that is next to the Walmart in the Patron Plaza. Going to be about 3 or 4 different liquors out there tasting. So head out there, holler at Jason, Tell them R&R in the Morning sent you.
Quick programming note: you can cheer for your Incarnate Word Cardinals on today, 6 o'clock. ESPN Plus is the game. UTSA plays on Saturday up in Illinois, taking on the Fighting Illini. That game will get going at 6:30 p.m., and you can check that out on BTN.
Both of those coaches, offensive juggernauts. Both of them know how to put points up.
I'll
Both
tell you,
coaches.
You want to talk about a signature win to start the season.
Woo!
Both these schools. You knock off Youngstown State, that is a talented football team, always putting pros out there. You knock off a Big Ten school, I don't care who you are, UTSA, go get some. The reason to cheer.
Over under sincere 100 yards.
Coming back on the other side of no, you better be over 100.
Over,
if they're going to win, it's going to be over. When we get back, COVID and the NBA, how is that going to affect? New rules in place in the New York City area and the San Francisco area might force some professional NBA basketball players to go get a vaccine, whether they want to or not, if they want to play home games. Talk about it next here on R&R in the Morning. And this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. It is one of the 4 majors, my friend. It is time to finish out your summer grilling season. Oh, there's plenty more time to grill, but this is the traditional closeout of summer as we celebrate labor. It's time for you to labor over a hot grill and provide some fine meat. And Tri-County Meat Market, well, they got all the fine meat that you are going to absolutely need. So when you head over to Tri-County Meat Market, things that you can expect when you walk in, they understand that a great meal does start with great meat. And Tri-County Meat Market, locally owned and full service, has carefully selected, I would say curated, certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, upper choice. Tri-County has everything you're going to need to up your grilling game. And this is a big weekend. You're going to be graded on this. This is your first playoff game. You got Labor Day and folks hanging around the pool. So they got great specials waiting for you. And when you head over to Tri-County, you know everything's great. But when they start knocking those prices down, stack them deep and put them in the freezer. Tri-County jalapeno cheese sausages, that's $5.99. Wagyu brisket at $8.99 a pound. You better get just 6 of those. The brisket burgers, oh my goodness, $5.99 a pound. And that'll be ground right there in the place for you. And those 3-bone plate ribs, those 4-bone chuck short ribs, $9.99 a pound. And you cannot go wrong with those pre-seasoned and perfectly moist and cut with a spoon sirloin fajitas at $12.99 a pound. Tri-County Meat Market's got 2 great locations. Over on Evener, out on Ralph Fair Road, waiting for you. Going to be busy all weekend long. Get there early to get all the meats and fine things you need. Don't forget about that 5 for $25. Always stock your cupboard with that. If you're a first responder, those deals, they get even better. 10% off just walking in the door. Head over to Tri-County Meat Market, stock your freezer, get the meat for the grill yourself up some food, upload those pictures so you can win a $50 gift card, and thank us later.
Emotion. There are few places in the broadcast universe where emotion is so sweet.
The ground ball toward the middle counter, Falefa to his left. He's got it. He spins. He throws. He got him. The ball game's over. Joey swings and launches one high in the air, deep center field. This one's on its way. That ball is history. This game is tied.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Can you feel it?
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at the reopening of Edwin Watts. We've weathered the storm, and now we're open. Come visit our newly remodeled store featuring GC quads in every hitting bay. Check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts has the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more in stock. Swing by our newly remodeled store and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
R&R in the Morning, sitting with Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com is his website. Jason Thompson, I'm curious. I was in a car accident, but I wasn't the driver. I was just a passenger. Do I need a lawyer too?
I think anytime you are injured in an automobile collision, whether you were the driver, a passenger, the guy in the back seat, know this, that when insurance is involved, Every insurance company I have ever heard of has a staff of lawyers on staff right now. As soon as that collision happens, whoever caused it is represented by an attorney. And if you think you're going to alone beat an insurance company's team of lawyers, you're sadly mistaken. The first thing you do is call me.
Jason Thompson, alawyerforus.com, 210-900-0400. 210-900-0400, alawyerforus.com.
Here in Texas, the heat is relentless, the storms are serious, and the hail is insane. Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. Your roof protects your home and your family. So whether you need a simple repair or a roof replacement, metal or composition, you need a roofer you can trust. That's Stevens Roofing. They are reputable, reliable, and have always been your local roofer. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free estimate at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. Having some starting trouble? We can help you out. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a charge, we can help with that too. And if you need a new battery, we've got a wide selection of replacement batteries starting at just $79.99. And we're the only place you can find proven tough Duralast batteries, including Duralast Platinum with AGM and EFB technology. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2020.
O'Reilly.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You hear that? It's not just another sound effect. It's the sound of your life changing. Unfold your world with Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G. A world where your phone is a tablet, and a tablet is pocket-sized. Where you get 2 screens in one, and you get more done. Where you can really have it all in the palm of your hand. A world where all eyes are on you, and you show everyone how to live this life. Get the new Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier.
30 for 30 Podcasts and The Undefeated present The King of Crenshaw, a 4-part podcast series that focuses on how the late Nipsey Hussle's life, death, and legacy deeply impacted the sports world. Listen to 30 for 30 Podcasts brought to you by DoorDash. It's the summer of Dash Pass, and members are getting $10 off groceries, alcohol, and pet food because summer. Try Dash Pass for free and get year-round savings, exclusive menu items, and 0 delivery fees now in the DoorDash app. Terms and conditions apply.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It is September the 2nd of 2021, 9:06 in the blessed AM. He is Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Karl Schoenig on the other side of the glass with restaurant quality production. This hour, we're going to give away another pair of tickets to go see Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. Got some codes for you. We'll send them out to you. The premieres tomorrow, I believe.
Karl, slide me a code. Slide a brother a code. We got about 1 million.
I have a feeling we could probably come up with something.
Get slide a brother a code.
I don't have that power, but I know who does.
That's just like having the power. It's almost as good.
Who you
almost
know.
better.
Who you know,
I don't have
baby.
it, but I know who does, and I know how to get a hold of them. That's almost as good.
Amen.
This hour, we're going to look at the COVID situation in the NBA. It was announced that the NBA is going to, if the local mandate is everyone needs to be vaccinated to come inside, like it is in New York and San Francisco, if you're going to play for the Knicks, if you're going to play for the Nets, and if you're going to play for the Golden State Warriors to play home games, you're going to have to be vaccinated. Now, the irony to this is if it's a road game and you're traveling in, you do not need to be vaccinated.
You do have to have like negative tests. There's certain rules, like you have to let them know which players aren't vaxxed, and they have to start certain rules and they have to be 15 feet away from certain people. So
it'd be easier if you were vaxxed as a traveling team, but you have to be vaxxed if you're the home team.
Because you play 40 games in there.
So
if you're a Nick, Rob, you're a Net, you're a Warrior, you're anti-vax.
Well,
you quitting, you retiring. I mean, we had the Washington Nationals vice president retire because all of their staff is required to be. If you're anti-vax, I mean, and you're making $40 million a year, what do you do? If you're Steph Curry and you're anti-vax, what do you do?
You
take it and get your $50
you take
million.
it and go play. I mean,
that's a tough spot to be in, but I mean, it's the city or state law.
There's not going to.
What are you going to do?
And there's no really legal recourse to this. They have those cities,
They have nothing
those
to stand
entities,
on.
and those jurisdictions have every legal right to do what they're doing. You can fight it, I guess. I think that the NBA, when you look at Congress and you look at when the House passes a bill and the Senate passes essentially the same bill, but a little bit of difference, they have these conference committees where the two get together and they iron out so the bills will match so that they can be signed into law. I think we have the NBA and we have the cities, and they both have their ideas, and now they're going to have to get together and figure out, because there will be an issue. There will be a player, a star that'll say, I'm not going to get vaxxed. It will be.
I think it's Kyrie Irving.
I think very likely could be.
Kyrie is very holistic, very into his, I could definitely see Kyrie being the guy that's like, I'm thinking about retiring.
There are religious and medical exemptions.
Oh, there are.
And,
you know what? You're right.
And he is officially a member of a Native American tribe. I'm not sure off the top of my head which one.
I'm not sure it's a protected class, to be quite frank. I mean, I think that some of those religious differences have been long-held things. They're going to have to find a loophole for this, because I
find a loophole for the star.
I see trouble on the horizon with this.
For the star, you find the loophole. If it's Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, you'll be like, he's this religion. But you have to have proof, though, right? You can't just be like,
you can't just suddenly adopt and say, today I'm Wiccan, and Wiccans, we don't take shots. No, it has to be a long-standing or an obvious political belief or a religious belief. Well, there are several that are pacifists that are well documented that you would never.
It's still weird that the team coming in to be around the team that's vaccinated doesn't have to be
at the moment.
Oh, are you calling your shot,
well,
Karl?
I think that Karl's making a point here. I do think that this conference committee is going to have to come together, and just like the NFL has done everything to get you vaxxed, they're not going to make you get vaxxed. But if you're not going to get vaxxed, you're going to have to deal with all this other crap. Well, the NBA is taking it even further. You're going to have to follow the local rules, and if you can't play, you can't play. I mean, if they're not going to let you in, we're not going to fight your fight. This is going to get weird.
This is going to get super weird. And the NBA is such a players' league. I really want to see this play out. You can't make me believe, especially with an NBA player. Because an NBA player has convinced himself, I'm one of the top athletes in the world. I take care of my body year round. How dare you force me to put this foreign substance, which I don't know what's in it, what it is. I don't care what scientist said. How dare you force me? And then there's LeBron James, who Adam Silver has painted him. As much as I love Adam Silver and as much as I think he's done a great job, he's also put himself in a situation where he's given that guy a lot of power, and we all know Bron is against it, and he will be screaming from the rooftops about this, and then Adam will go by his house and they'll have a meeting about it. This is going to be weird. It's going to be weird, especially if only way it gets weird if it's the stars. Again, and we're only talking about the Nets, Knicks, Warriors.
And a lot of stars.
A lot of stars. About 5-6 stars. So if those guys are bucking, because Kevin Durant, keep in mind, he's had COVID twice. I want to say, I think he's been protocoled twice. I won't say he had COVID. I probably shouldn't say that, but I know he's been protocoled twice. Does he want to take the vaccine, or does he feel like in his mind, his mama telling him, "Baby, you got the antibodies, baby. You don't need that. You tell them you ain't taking that, baby, and make sure you get the house for your girlfriend when she comes in town from Sean Marks." You know what I'm saying? Is Steph Curry down? If those two guys are not down, The NBA got an issue.
The NBA said in a memo that Friday, all 30 NBA teams will have had to deliver the information to every player on their roster who isn't fully vaccinated, and that they'll have to inform the league office specifically which players are not yet fully vaccinated. It also states that moving forward, if a team signs a player who isn't fully vaccinated, it must tell the player this information and inform the league that it has done so. So they're not making you get vaxxed. They're just painting you into a corner. You don't have to get it.
They're making your life miserable.
They're going to make your life completely difficult. And somebody, like you said, is going to buck against this.
It's got to be a star, though. It can't be James Wiseman.
Everybody's trying to mitigate risk. And we can't completely eliminate risk unless we put everybody in a bubble. So there's always going to be questions. Well, why are we doing this and not that? Why are we doing this? We look at the U.S. Open going on in New York right now. Everybody who's watching the games has to be vaxxed, but nobody who's playing the game needs to be vaxxed.
Weird.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't mean what they're doing is wrong. It just seems disjointed. Everybody's trying to mitigate as much risk and still carry on everyday life. And there's always going to be these questions until we have absolutes.
Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I feel like the NBA didn't go because at that point, you're pretty much saying that you have to be vaccinated. The NBA didn't go that far as the visiting teams coming in because now you got a real fight on your hand. Now you've forced me to become vaccinated. That's the only reason why that rule is in place, because it makes no sense. Like you're telling everybody, well, these states are telling everybody to come into this building, you have to be vaccinated. So why do the Houston Rockets get to come into that building unvaccinated? Like, it makes no sense, but you can't do that because now we're getting into legalities.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if that's what the wall says, there's a big piece of paper to come in here, you need both shots. But the Rockets, the Kings, the blah, blah, blahs come in there unvaccinated.
The NBA has
I don't get it.
You can't. So don't try because it doesn't make sense. If you try to make sense out of something that cannot be made sense, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Cool.
I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but there are reasons. We're mitigating as much risk as possible. It's not going to completely clear you of danger, but you're certainly in less danger with everybody being vaccinated in the stands than nobody being vaccinated in the stands. So we did mitigate some risk. It just isn't complete mitigation because it's not possible. And if we continue to question, well, why didn't you do it all? Well, you can't do it all, or we shut back down. So if we can't do it all, let's do as much as possible. Why say, well, if we can't do it all, don't do nothing, don't do anything? That's not the answer. So if you can control the population that can view it by saying you got to be, that's as much as we can do today. That's all we can do.
And I guess it's like, okay, if you're the if you're the Lakers, you only play the Knicks once in that building. You only play the Nets once in that building, and then you go to Golden State at the most twice.
It is. That's exactly
versus being in the building 42 times. That the way you spin it?
That's it. But I can't imagine a scenario that the NBA would enact that would pretty much eliminate LeBron playing in the Garden. That would eliminate LeBron showing up and playing Kevin Durant in the Garden.
That's a Christmas Day game. Where is that?
I'm sure
is
it's
that
in
LA or Brooklyn?
I would lay money.
They play the Nets on Christmas. They play the Nets on Christmas.
Because they're just that LA time. It's either going to be late. It'd have to be the late game, the last game. If it's New York, it could be any point. I can't imagine that would come into play.
And you see the Lakers. Golden State did their little. San Francisco did their rule. LA wouldn't dare to put that rule in place because their horse is against it.
The game is in Los Angeles, which I would not be surprised if Los Angeles / Staples Center have a rule like this in the near future.
Only reason why I don't see it happening is because
LeBron has
the
power.
Voice. Mm-hmm. Because I'll tell you this much: if LeBron was a team vax, Lakers would have that rule. It wouldn't be up for debate. They would have that rule. Cali is super. I don't know. I won't go there. Cali's like us. Yeah. Like us. You know what I mean? Like they're like, no, dude. Like we went to Cali, put it like this. We went to Cali, everybody was wearing masks still. Okay. Everywhere we went, people were still wearing masks. There were still I went to a restaurant in LA where they took your order outside. Okay, so they're still living like that. Lakers and the Bucks family, they're not going to put that in place.
So remember,
not with the king.
These are typically rules that apply to the arena, not necessarily the local area. So Staples Center shares the Clippers and the Kings hockey team, as well as the Lakers. So that would almost make sense that they would require some serious level of
It would make
protection.
sense if the biggest moneymaker wasn't against it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's a privately held building, if it's Jerry World and they're not getting any funds from the state, you can do what you want. But because most of these stadiums and arenas are built and maintained with public funds, they can mandate certain things. But if you own the building, just like you own your business, you don't have you can have everybody. You don't have to abide by those kind of mandates because it's your building.
Yeah. I want Karl. You got to keep an eye on me on Twitter for the guys from the Knicks, Nets, and Warriors. Keep an eye on Twitter today. I wonder really how these guys took this news.
They're probably not taking to Twitter quite yet over it.
Probably calling agents and owners and probably calling everybody like, "Are y'all serious with this?" I got to keep an eye on the Twitters over the next couple of days to see how these guys from these three teams are reacting to this.
NBA training camps will begin September the 28th. The season will begin on October the 19th. They do have a little bit of time, but it's anticipated that all game day personnel are going to be required to wear face masks as they always have. There's going to be the separation with those that are unvaxxed. It's going to be difficult at best if you're not vaxxed to get in and get out. You'll probably be quarantined when you get there.
Crazy. It's not crazy. I'm not saying in a bad way. It's just like
it's crazy.
Ooh, yeah, it's crazy. Okay.
And if you try to put all the puzzle pieces together, no, they don't fit. It doesn't seem to have any kind of, there's no continuity to the rule where you go, well, that all makes sense, whether you agree with it or not.
But you're 100% right. Doing nothing isn't the answer either.
No, just because we can't fix it all doesn't mean we can't fix something. And if you can't get every player vaxxed, well, we can make sure everybody in the building that paid for a ticket is vaxxed. Mitigate the risk. We can't eliminate it, but we can mitigate it as best we can. One of the things we can also ensure is that you are completely informed all the time, because your headlines, they change by the minute, and Karl's keeping up with them. Lets you get all caught up with what's happening today in the world of sports. Karl, what we got?
Here's the 411 in the 210.
Headline 2 is some breaking news that just came down within the last hour. Paul Millsap will sign with the Nets, according to Shams.
What?
Last big get.
I didn't even realize he was out of work. I thought he's still a Nugget.
No, been floating around.
I've always loved Paul Millsap's game. Like, the low maintenance, get him the ball when you get him the ball. He gets a bucket. For a while he had that baby fat on him, and then he just trimmed all the way up, and he stayed trimmed up. So Denver kind of fell out of love with him. He spent a lot of time on the bench in the playoffs. The Nets are just loading up because the Lakers are loading up.
Very quiet.
It's a race for all the old men.
I think
AARP.
And I'm down. In my lexicon, the highest compliment I can give an NBA player who isn't the superstar is that guy's a spur. That guy epitomizes everything I believe basketball should be played, your attitude toward it. Paul Millsap is a spur. And that's not that he is a spur, but he has that mentality that what he would have always fit in right here. Yeah. That's with a team full of egos, a guy like Paul Millsap who can play and has zero ego. What a great get. That's a huge pickup. Moving along.
Headline 1. According to Clarence Hill Jr. on Twitter, CeeDee Lamb, Connor Williams, Carlos Watkins should be activated from the COVID-19 list before practice today, according to a source of his. It's officially game week.
There we go.
If they're just now getting back, between the lines, they must not be.
No.
They're
again,
not back.
Positive does not mean sick.
Right.
Positive just means that it's there, but the vaccine probably is working for you. And it just showed that CD and those likes, they're back, negative tests, back to work.
Yeah, register negative tests. And I don't know 100% how the NFL's COVID list works. I know that there's a difference between vaccinated and not vaccinated.
Yes. Way different.
There were reports that CeeDee Lamb is fully vaccinated.
Yes. Okay. That's the report that we had gotten, and you can tell by how they were treated. They didn't disappear for 10 days. They couple of negative tests later, they didn't get cut. Which is, I guess, the biggest key. And boy, that's huge news, because going into the season with a rusty Dak and no CeeDee Lamb and no Connor, it would have made things a whole lot worse. Let's hope they get everybody else
good
back
for
on the
those
roster.
guys. Glad they're back. Whether they're vaxxed or not, I'm glad they're back. I don't want anybody getting sick.
And it is game week.
Yes, it is Thursday. Yeah.
Tampa Bay in Tampa, ring night or banner night. They got their
Banner
rings
night.
already.
They already got their rings.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like the NBA, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
All righty. And headline 0. Somebody's feeling a little bit of a hot seat. Las Vegas Raiders need to be a playoff team, GM Mike Mayock says. John Gruden and I will both tell you that we feel like we need to be a playoff team this year, and I don't think there's any doubt about that, Mayock said Wednesday in his first meeting with reporters since the NFL draft. You guys are all going to put that in your headlines, and I understand it, but that's what the expectation is. We think we've done the infrastructure work necessary to put us in that position, and we've got to take care of business. Meanwhile, John Gruden's only in year 3 of a 10-year contract.
Look, Mayock can say what he wants, and I get that. That's his job. He's supposed to push the coach, but considering Mark Davis just bought a 15,000 square foot home.
You seen that thing?
Yeah, Pleasant to that thing is nice. It kind of looks like the stadium, but
I think they use leftover pieces. Like
yeah, considering he just spent $15 million, he ain't paying John Gruden to go away. John Gruden could go 4-13, and he's coming back next year. It sounds good, Mayock.
Rudy, I disagree.
They're not paying him $60 million to go away, Rob. No way.
I'll tell you, they're in a brand new place in Las Vegas. And last year was odd. You're going to have to produce. And
go ahead.
I have Mayock especially.
Yeah, Mayock. Yeah, the guys he drafted.
I can't see unless there are 9 wins. 9.
But
there
that
ain't no
only
way
makes him
Mayock
9-8.
survives.
Now Mayock, I can see him getting fired. But see, this is the thing. If I'm Mark Davis, like now I have to pay, like, okay, let's say you fire Gruden this coming up season, you owe him 60. Okay, of course you're going to agree to a buyout. But now I'm paying his buyout and whoever the new coach is.
Yeah. He's building a $15 million house.
And his team's in Vegas.
I think he's got enough change in the cushions to pay John to go away.
You see, Mark Davis comes across to me as an owner that's so cool with just being an owner of a team as opposed to actually seeing success that he has a handshake agreement with Gruden. It's like, it takes 7 years to do what you need to do.
I would like to think that there is that kind of honor, that Mark Davis and his haircut would make a decision and stand by it through thick and thin. Now, granted, nobody in Vegas is from Vegas, and there are fans for every team all over, so the Raiders will become the Sancha to everybody in Vegas initially.
Sancha.
And slowly that love will grow until the divorce happens, but the love won't grow if you're not winning. Now, the good news is that place will always be sold out. The bad news is you're never playing a home game. Half the fans there are going to be from someplace else.
You don't think the guys
what.
that dress up are going to make the drive from Oakland every week? Because they had a loyal fan base. You think they're making that drive every week? No. I feel you.
There are plenty of Raiders fans all over the country, though, that are more excited about flying into Vegas than Oakland.
There is that.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, they have 16 opportunities, or 8 or 9, depending on whether you've got it. But every fan, as soon as they see next year, out of conference play, the Cowboys are playing in Vegas, Washington's playing in Vegas, New York is playing in Vegas. You don't think that there's going to be at least as many New York fans in that building or Cowboy fans in that building as there will be Raider fans? They're never playing another home game, which makes it even that much more difficult to win. I think they're in a tough spot. Gruden's going to have to produce. At some point, you're going to have to be more than just the new novel thing in Vegas. And maybe he has another year, but have you seen any improvement on that team?
Their defense is so bad. The defense is so bad. It's just like they to me look like a team that's just going to hover around 500 for a while until they fix that side of the ball.
And, what has Mayock done as a GM? I think getting Waller, that was pretty good. I'll give him some credit for that.
But he's had a lot of misses, swing and misses.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
That Antonio Brown fiasco last year, that's all
the
on
draft,
Mayock.
even just the draft.
So I think they're a little bit more tenuous. And Mayock, he might not be feeling it internally, but I do think the heat will grow if they don't win 9 games. The Raiders going to have to do something playing in that big hockey puck.
Dude, nine games with 17 game schedule doesn't seem as sexy anymore because now that just puts you at 9-8.
Rudy, you got jewelry on? You're a bling guy. You wear rings?
That's my wedding ring. If I had the money, I would be a bling guy.
Would you have
not gaudy, but I'd have like some subtle stuff, like a little tennis bracelet, a little small chain. If I had that type of money,
but it would be gold.
I like jewelry. I just can't afford it. But I like jewels.
Jewelry I buy ain't for me.
Yeah.
I told you I'm a little claustrophobic. I have a phobia about rings. I have to wear a rubber one. I went probably 20 years without wearing my class ring or my wedding ring. I had a unfortunate incident where I kind of got a little allergic to something and my fingers swelled up and I had to have my ring cut off, which was a completely traumatic experience. So now when they finally came out with these athletic rubber rings, it's the best thing ever happened to me.
So that's your wedding ring.
My wedding ring is just one of those little rubber ones because I have a little bit of claustrophobia. And I don't really wear jewelry. But most, you get some cash. Ed.
Well, a little something. I wouldn't do too much.
Ed Oliver, the great player out of the University of Houston, is a Buffalo Bill. Went out swimming over the weekend. Went up to Lake Erie, diving around, swimming. And happened to wear a, Flava Flav size necklace. He wears number 91. The 91 were about 3 inches long, diamond encrusted. He wore that into Lake Erie, and he got out of the water, and he didn't have it on. We'll tell you what happened next coming up. It's R&R in the Morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star. We're glad you're with us here on ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Had the great pleasure sitting with the owner of Service First AC and Plumbing yesterday, Jack Wall. Great guy. And more importantly, he's my guy in the air conditioning business. And we all want that. The comfort and the stability of knowing if this goes bad, if something happens to my air conditioning, and trust me, it will, I've got a guy, one dial, 210, no sweat. I know that once that number is dialed, everything else will be taken care of because Service First AC and Plumbing, they're my guys. They should be your guys. And to become your guys, they need to be fast, reliable, proactively, and most importantly, trusted, right? Well, they are. I can tell you, proof positive. They are all those things and more because they are experts in those emergencies. They're open 24/7, 365. You call them, they are coming fast to take care of your emergency. And when it happens to your AC, it is an emergency. Put this number in your phone, 210, no sweat. When you dial them, they have great specials right now on half off your service call. Their summer tune-up is ending, and let me tell you, it is going to get hot. We haven't seen 100 degrees. I bet it happens within the next week. If your air conditioning has been barely holding on, call Service First today. Get them out there. Get a tune-up before it goes down and things seriously go wrong. As we get into the fall months, it's time for that heater to start kicking on, and carbon monoxide and efficient running is always a concern. Service First AC and Plumbing, they are certainly here for the emergency, but they're here for you every day too. And if you're wise, you're going to head off those emergencies by making sure that your air conditioning is in good shape. That goes into the trusted and reliable and proactive. Call them out. You're going to get half off that call, and at the same time, you'll be preparing yourself for the cooler months. And the Almanac, let me tell you, they're telling us it's going to be a colder and wetter and longer winter than we're accustomed to. It is coming, my friends. Make sure Service First AC and Plumbing is in your phone and eliminate and issue a problem ahead of time. Call them today. Have them come out and look at your system. If there's something that needs to be done, they'll do as little as possible as they need to keep it going, or they've got everything you need to completely replace and save a bunch of money. Service First AC and Plumbing, they are my first responders. They're my guys in the business. They're in my phone, 210 no sweat. Put them in your phone and thank me later.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
Yesterday was a tough afternoon for the Texas Major League Baseball teams, with both the Rangers and the Astros losing their series finales. The Houston Astros were edged out by the Seattle Mariners 1-0. Jake Odorizzi picked up the loss on the mound despite only allowing 1 run on 2 hits with 7 strikeouts in 5 innings pitched. The Rangers couldn't complete the sweep of the Colorado Rockies yesterday afternoon. Despite having a lead the majority of the game by opening the scoring with a 5-run second inning, Colorado chipped away at the lead with 2 runs in the 4th and the 5th and took the lead with 5 runs in the 9th to escape Arlington with a win 9-4. Both Texas teams are off Thursday and pick up new series Friday, with Houston visiting San Diego and the Rangers visiting the Angels. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
R&R In The Morning, sitting with Jason Thompson. A lawyer for us.com is his website. Jason Thompson, I'm curious. I was in a car accident, but I wasn't the driver. I was just a passenger. Do I need a lawyer too?
I think anytime you are injured in an automobile collision, whether you were the driver, a passenger, the guy in the back seat, know this, that when insurance is involved, every insurance company I have ever heard of has a staff of lawyers on staff right now. As soon as that collision happens, whoever caused it is represented by an attorney. And if you think you're going to alone beat an insurance company's team of lawyers, you're sadly mistaken. The first thing you do is call me.
Jason Thompson, a lawyer for us.com, 210-900-0400. 210-900-0400, a lawyer for us.com.
Listen up, sports bettors. This is Hall of Famer Warren Sapp here to tell you about my favorite sports book, BetUS.com. I only endorse one sports book, and that's BetUS.com. Just like me, BetUS is the Hall of Famer of online betting with more than 25 years in the biz. You need a sports book with integrity and longevity, and you need to know when you win, you're gonna get paid. You need a sports book that offers all the action to make every game feel like the playoffs. Call today at 1-800-69-BET-US. That's 1-800-MY-BET-US, and they will get you set up faster than I can run the 40. Nobody in the industry gives bigger bonuses than BetUS. I play at BetUS, and so should you. Now is your turn. Join now. Call today at 1-800-69-BET-US. That's 1-800-MY-BET-US. My favorite sports book, BetUS.com.
Join now and get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Call 1-800-MY-BET-US.
Tell them Sapp sent you.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Staples Connect has everything for school at amazing prices. Right now, Staples one-subject notebooks are only 25 cents each, and Crayola 24-count crayons, 2-pocket polyfolders, and 4-ounce Elmer's glue are just 50 cents each. So your student won't just be ready for school, there'll be tons of drawings to hang on the fridge ready.
We're going to need a bigger refrigerator.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com/back-to-school and get amazing prices for everything on your back-to-school list. Ends 9/18, limit 30, notebooks in store only. Offer may vary online.
This is R&R in the Morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the Morning. Welcome aboard. I love 9. You know, the sun comes up and the radio station slowly comes to life. And you see, I was just commenting to Rudy. I looked down the management hall at 9 o'clock and not a door was open. I'm like, man, what a day.
What are they doing?
You know, the sun comes up, things start stirring, and you walk out in the hall, and there he is. Sean Rima walking by.
Hey. How are you guys this morning?
What's up, Sean?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Always.
As always.
Tomorrow's Friday. Thank you.
Thank goodness. You know, we've been talking about the U.S. Open today and watching the flooding, the destruction that Ida has wreaked throughout the Middle Atlantic and up into New York. And we were talking in the break about watching the subways flood up.
Oh man. I thought the most dangerous thing, I thought the most dangerous thing I ever did on a subway was ride into Chinatown at like 2 a.m. after drinking tequila all night back in the early 90s. And it was, but my heart does break because I've never seen New York's the streets flooded like that.
But you're still here, so it wasn't that bad.
I made it.
You made it out.
My question is, don't you think they've had this happen before and they'd have fixed that?
No, think, but no.
Put a drain.
So put a drainage
Put a drain someplace.
Yeah.
Because not only are you washing away the urine and
you had to bring up the urine.
Yeah, maybe that's what they do. Let's let it flood to clean this place out.
I got to use the bathroom now, but Rudy, Jay, we'll see you on KTSA.
Rudy, go be over on KTSA. Go catch up on everything going on in the world with Sean Rima and Trey Ware as they get your mornings going every morning. 55 on AM, 107.1 on the FM. We are so honored to share the same space with the legendary station that is KTSA and the great guys over Sean and Trey and the their unique perspective on the world. We'll leave it there. Love me some Sean Ryan. Ed Oliver is he was a Heisman candidate coming out of the University of Houston a couple years ago. For one of the few defenders ever gets those kind of mentions.
Monster as a true freshman, a monster,
straight up baller, straight up football player. A little prickly, not the nicest guy.
You've interviewed him.
Yeah, he's not the nicest.
How did it go? Was it one word answers?
It was kind of a little arrogant. I'll just put it there. But
it happens.
And to be that good, sometimes you got to be arrogant. But he's also a confident fellow, and evidently a pretty good swimmer. Because if you're going to go swimming, one of the first things that in my history is if I'm going to get in the water, I want to take everything off my body that is heavy, that will weigh me down. Ed Oliver has a big old chain, a big rope, big number 91.
It's called a big ass chain.
Back. He got a back and a big ass number 91. Was swimming around in Lake Erie outside of Buffalo over the weekend, having a good time. And he went into the water with his bling. Came out of the water without his bling. Had to find somebody to help. I don't know. We don't know how much this thing cost. I'm looking at the picture. I'm going to figure minimum $50K, probably up at 100. Maybe double that.
I'm going to say 100 to 200.
Have you seen that? There's a lot of ice on there.
It might be a quarter. I'm going to say it's a $250,000.
So $250,000 necklace is at the bottom of Lake Erie. What do you do?
Panic. Get some goggles. Get a scuba team. We figuring it out. First of all, I'm not getting in the water with that on.
No.
If it's a $250,000, I'm not getting in there with that. Again, there's certain chains you can wear in there. Like, there's people wear jewelry in the pool all the time. But that particular chain, that particular back, I'm not taking any chances. Yeah, I'm not taking any chances with the $250,000.
Okay, so you're going to go find some help, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to enlist some scuba divers. Now, I'm going to ask you, what would you do as scuba diver that has been wrangled by Ed looking for the $250,000 jewelry down at the bottom of the water? You're down there alone.
I'm probably telling them we didn't find it.
Oops.
And shoving it in my leotard.
I couldn't find it. We did our best. No, he found a couple of divers. They put on the full scuba gear. We don't know how deep the water was, but it was evidently deep enough to need that. And they found it, which I think on its own is a ridiculously fortuitous move.
Now, what do you tip them? What do you tip the scuba divers? Like, you saved me $250,000, maybe more. We're going on the light side because these things, these backs can get up in price. Somebody finds your $250,000 chain. What's the tip for the scuba diver?
Do you clarify that before you find it? If I'm scuba guy and you want me to go swimming around.
Well, first of all, I'm probably getting an hourly rate anyway. Like, you hired me, I'm probably getting like an upfront fee. But we always tip, right? We're a tip society. We're supposed to be. And if you save me $250,000, that should be worth a few grand.
I would think.
Right? I'm not saying nothing crazy, but that's worth a few grand.
We don't know whether there was a tip. Certainly, there were nice, happy hugs and photos were taken. So maybe they did it out of the goodness of their own heart. Maybe they're big Bills fans and are just, maybe there's some tickets in the offing. But I don't know what a standard hourly rate is for a scuba diver in the greater Lake Erie area.
I'm probably about a 50 to 100 an hour.
But I'm asking for some serious cash up front. Like, there's 10,000 coming my way if I find it, right? And if I don't, well, it was a worthy effort. But if it's less than that,
go find it yourself.
I couldn't find it.
I didn't find it. No. I thought I saw something sparkling. It turned out to be somebody's old shoes and cars, so I just hid it underneath that.
Here's some tin cans. I got to go. I've got another appointment.
I found a tire.
I found a tire and a license plate. And,
a body.
By the way, I'm going to, and just because I'm headed over to my jeweler right now, doesn't mean I found anything, but I need to find out how much this weighs.
Found a couple handguns that were probably used in murders.
What's the most expensive piece of jewelry you've ever bought yourself?
I had some Turkish gold I got way back in the 90s. I was going to a Kappa Beach party with my buddies Melvin and Ray. We were going to Kappa Beach party, and I purchased like a Turkish little gold. It was like hollow, but it was real. It was a couple $100.
Couple hundreds?
Yeah, a couple $100. I did the herringbone. Remember the herringbone, the flat gold piece? That wasn't that expensive. My wife bought me a Movado.
And so
that was
watches are probably what most
a few
people
hundred,
spend
which
some money on.
I love that watch, but I've never really spent a big amount of money. My biggest purchase is my wife's ring.
Right, and that's I would think for everybody is that ring.
Yeah,
I'm glad that I don't have a jewelry taste because that's expensive stuff.
It
man,
is,
and
man.
I would lose it.
Does jewelry appreciate or depreciate?
I think it goes
depending on what it is. Like if it's gold, it's up right now.
Yeah,
right?
to the market rate.
With the market rate,
It never depreciates. I don't think. I mean, a diamond's a diamond.
Well, Rolex, like the way these guys do their Rolex, they call it bust down.
Oh yeah,
those depreciate.
Yeah, they do.
They depreciate. It's better to keep your Rolex naked. Like you throw a bunch of diamonds in a Rolex, it loses value.
I never.
It looks sexy on videos. It looks sexy on camera. It looks sexy for Instagram. But if you end up losing money, you got to sell it. You're gonna be like,
I'm a watch guy. I collect them. I don't have super expensive watches. I come to work. I wear my iWatch.
You got your Apple Watch
because
right?
I use that. You know why I use my iWatch? Not so much for time. My Apple Watch. The only reason I use this on a regular basis is not for anything other than when I am looking for my phone. My watch helps me find.
Are you serious?
That's the only reason I have it. Honestly, when I'm not at work, I
know you don't have your phone because I could text you and I don't get a response for hours. And I know it's not you being rude.
No,
I just like being around Rob for a few months. He just leaves his phone wherever he leaves his phone.
It's
and he
healthy.
Walks. It is healthy. He just leaves his phone where he leaves his phone.
Well, it's not good because people are out forever giving me my phone back. But I'm not very good with that. But the only reason I do that. But getting back to the subject, I'm a watch guy, and
watch. That's good to be though. That's
very
grown man
watches.
Right,
I'm not into the high end $10,000 watch. But as a watch guy, I would never buy a Rolex.
Why not?
Because there are better watches, better made watches.
Give me one.
Oh, you want to talk about in the Rolex realm or
it
we could go
just
up
wherever,
even far more expensive. There is a Rolex has under the umbrella that is Rolex. They have another brand known as Tudor, Tudor, which is the same guts, the same thing that a Rolex is, but it's a little bit kind of a down market. It's kind of like, how Ford had Pontiac and Oldsmobile. The Tudor would be kind of like the Oldsmobile, a little bit different, same guts, same watch, but for thousands less. So if I wanted that kind of Swiss engineering, I'd go that way. If you really want to spend some money, Patek Philippe and
I've heard
those
the
kind of
Patek
areas.
Philippe,
but if I was
whatever,
IWC, Schaffhausen, there's a lot of watches that are right in there. But if I was going to buy that level of watch, it would not be a Rolex. I'd probably go Panerai, which is an Italian brand that I'm very much a fan of. And maybe a Ulysse Nardin, those kind of that are right in the same price range. But to me, Rolex is for people who want to buy an expensive watch, but really don't know watches.
That's the only watch they know.
Know Rolex. It's got a brand, but there's so many watches.
But I think a watch is almost like a man's shoes. I know women say like you can tell a lot by your shoes, but
Absolutely.
I think a watch is especially depending on what room you're walking into. You're walking into a power meeting, your watch speaks volumes for who you are.
I have power meeting watches.
Oh, see what I'm saying?
I have specific watches for the big time.
You see,
for those that know.
Right,
and
exactly.
I'm only showing that to people that know.
Right.
Because I don't own a Rolex. And people, you can see a Rolex, a Rolex. But
I don't know any of those other watches you said.
But somebody walks in with
except the Patek. I know
with a Patek or a Panerai or Ulysse Nardin or something that is not quite as well known, a little bit boutiquey, and people notice that.
That's when you got them.
And when they do notice, those are the guys that you want to notice. You know what I mean? That you're trying to truly impress. I got game coming and going. We are getting the Wrangle system note. We are running out of time, and we got to sell some Texas cheer liquor. We'll be right back with a bow on the show. You're on R&R in the Morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Texas Cheer Liquor, official sponsor of R&R in the Morning. We already gave you what to cheer for. Now let me let you know where they are. There's 4 locations. They started with 2 before 2020. March 2020 had 2. By now, they already got 4, so that's good for small business. But there's 2 on Petrenko. One is right across from Wally World, that's a.k.a. Walmart. And then there's one all the way past 211. And then there is also the 3rd location, which is at Highway 90 in Montgomery. And the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor off of Palo Alto, 1431 Palo Alto in the Patron Plaza next to Walmart as well. You can find Jason Minix out at the number 4 location today from 4 to 7. Be a bunch of different tastings going on. So you can go out there, get some tastings, pick up a bottle, tell them R&R sent you, get your cigar, whatever your taste may be. You want beer, you want wine, you want liquor, you want cigars. They have it all. That's Texas Cheer Liquor. Don't forget TexasCheerLiquor.com, and there's the Texas Cheer Liquor app. And at those two places, you can order ahead, you can order for delivery, whatever the case may be. Again, some people, you don't want to go anywhere. You still, kind of quarantining yourself, but you still want a little something to drink. That's going to be your place to go to get your curbside, TexasCheerLiquor.com or the Texas Cheer Liquor app. That's Texas Cheer Liquor, official sponsor of R&R in the Morning.
Here's pitch. Double your power. Double your fun. Double your Rangers pleasure. The exclusive action happens here on the official home plate of the Texas Rangers. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Start fall with everything to do business better during Dell Technologies Labor Day event. Save up to 45% on select business PCs with Windows 10 Pro. Power your workday with savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories, plus free shipping on everything. Do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro. Call 877-ASK-DELL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877-ASK-DELL for business specials during Dell's Labor Day event.
Right now, people are home with their pets more often, and I think now, especially with the shedding, they're more cognizant of what's going on and that it's an actual issue, and Dynovite has helped tremendously in our house with that.
I just heard the Dynovite commercial so many times that I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot, and I ordered it and tried it, and it worked.
The Dynovite, the being at home, working with them, they all love it. Me and Chewy are together 24/7.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
DINOVITE.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen temporal scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.com.
This is the place where time stands still. With each down is a battle of inches.
How about 83 yards from Prescott to Elliott?
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Karl Schoening on your home for Texas Rangers baseball. San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I don't know what that means. We're in the glass box of fun. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Karl Schoening, equally protected on the other side of the double pane glass. But as we went to break, the building alarm went off.
And I'm ready to run.
So
I hear alarm, I run.
If it gets quiet here in the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds, it's because somebody has come and told us to run for our lives.
Is this bullet?
It's never comfortable when the building alarm goes off.
No, I'm looking around. I started looking around for the exit.
Karl goes, anybody else hear that? Should we be concerned?
Y'all need to let me know. So I don't see anybody running out of these offices yet. If I see somebody sprinting down the hall, we going black.
I wonder what the reason would that alarm would go off. We don't have an alarm door. Maybe we do. Like if you open this door during business hours, it'll go off. I know that we have a fire alarm, which I don't believe that would be an issue. We have a rather unique air conditioning system here at the Radio Ranch.
Yeah, we do. You were explaining that to me.
The likelihood of it going south is probably pretty high. We have to have, because, basically radio stations are just big server farms. The system that we have in our air conditioning is old school. We pump cold water around the building and the roof. So if the pipes break, it rains water on our electronics. It's a really smart system designed probably by an Aggie at some point. I can say that as part of the family.
You can say that. You can do that.
So
you can make fun of your own.
When the alarm goes off, one never knows around here.
I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen. I still haven't seen anybody running. So
for those that hung around with us to the bitter end, let's give away some tickets.
Let's do
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's coming. Well, we got the premiere tomorrow night. We got some Fandango codes we want to send to you so you can go for free. Just another reason it pays to listen to San Antonio Sports Star all day, every day, as we are apt to say. 656-3776, 656 ESPN or your Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. First one on the dial gets themselves a pair of tickets to go. Don't forget, we'll have more tickets at halftime. Karl and I will be back delving deep into today's headlines. We'll probably talk a little bit about Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. That's the day ends and why we have to do that. And then the Blitz will get going today at 4 o'clock, and Minix will have tickets for that as well. As we come in tonight, we have lots and lots of college football. It is starting today. In fact, Incarnate Word will be on the docket today, taking on Youngstown State. Represent our city well, represent your school well. Go get a win.
Go Cardinals.
Yeah, let's put yourself on the map as we come into a huge weekend. Now, Aggies are taking on Kent. Kent State, 7 o'clock. We have our fantasy draft at 1 o'clock at the Rue Pub. We have our listener draft going live at 11 o'clock at the Rue Pub. We got great games all day long on Saturday. The Aggies are going up against what has been called we're getting the biggest college football game of the year off the bat.
Yeah.
Top 5 matchup.
For
Clemson
sure.
and Georgia. And by the numbers, it is, by all the games that are scheduled between now and the end of the season, literally the biggest game of the year that we get kicking off. In fact, there are more big matchups this year than we have ever seen in college football. So this weekend will be an absolute buffet of greatness. Let's start out at the Rue Pub. Come out and join us. It's going to be fun on Saturday. All the star gathering together.
Can't wait.
We'll have our live draft.
I can't see his hands.
I can't see his hands either, but
I just see him bumping his fist. It just looks like an EDM
Please say
concert.
you're on SA Sports Star watching this live, because the countdown is always a rodeo. It's 4, it's 3. We're going to do better tomorrow. Thanks for hanging with R&R. We'll see you then.
Friday nights mean one thing. San Antonio Sports Stars High School Football Game of the Week. Powered by Hill Electric. Jason Minix and Kevin Brock have the call each week beginning at 7 p.m. from the GPS of Texas broadcast booth. A Friday night Texas tradition.
Tomorrow, the Churchill Chargers take on the Alamo Heights Mules. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff.
High school football each week from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, welcome to Smoky Moe's.
At Smoky Moe's Barbecue, we smoke our meats fresh, in-house, each and every day. We think it makes all the difference in the quality of our moist, flavorful brisket and turkey, and the mouth-watering tenderness of our ribs and pork loin. Got a crowd? We've got group packs and full-service catering. Up early? We've got made-to-order breakfast tacos. Find your store at SmokyMoe'sBarbecue.com and come see us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Smoky Moe's Barbecue. The pit is lit.
Vaccines are not enough, and accurate thermometers are essential for everyone. COVID is once again a major concern, and fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. An accurate thermometer, like the Exergen Temporal Scanner, is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Studies have shown that non-contact thermometers are ineffective and therefore dangerous, as they create a false sense of security. Exergen is working with a single focus to ensure that everyone who needs an accurate thermometer can purchase one. Learn more at Exergen.